Nerdrotic.com.
Cause I'm probably late. Friday Night Tights. Radical lights and highly organized. It's Friday Night Tights, Friday Night Tights. Time has come, they are finally here. Oh, hail Friday Night Tights. We're not affiliated, just so we're clear.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I'm going to get blamed for that. I'm going to get blamed for that.
That was my fault.
It was intentional.
We just had the show.
I almost added him, but I was like, no, because it's gonna bring us in.
And what did I do? I added him.
And then yeah.
You know what is a Friday Night Tights without fuck ups? And I mean, if we're on time, we have to fuck something else up.
Yeah.
We're on time. So.
Even when we're 55 minutes early, we're still late in game.
No, we have to fix it. We have to correct the universe.
That's why Chris was late, because he assumed it would be good. And it was like 5 minutes. That's nothing.
Hi, welcome to Friday Night Tights, everybody. Yeah. Live from the communist dystopia of California.
I thought you were going to say Canada.
No, that's where you're from.
Different communist dystopia.
You're like the North Korea, and California's like China. So
Got good K-pop then.
in North Korea,
North Korea,
They don't
even
allow
have
that.
K-pop.
food there, let alone music.
K-pop's just like, I'm
That's
hungry.
racist.
it's a comedy skit waiting to happen. North Korean K-pop.
They've got a lot of time. They have a lot of time to like plan out their dance moves and everything when they're waiting fucking bread lines.
And when their life depends on singing, so
I guess it's probably rice lines.
they get murdered by like missiles if they don't sing it.
Kim Jong-un's already listed as the greatest K-pop band of all time in the country. So.
Gary, is she already drinking this early? X-Ray Girl? Is she already-
No, hold on.
Started.
X-Ray Girl drank last night, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Oh yeah.
I can tell because of the way you answered the question if you were drinking right now.
Is it a day ending in Y?
And I've also like spent enough time with you knowing that if you get fucking trash one day, you're like, you have that like, I'm not drinking again this day. Like that's just you.
Oh, no, I plan to drink tonight.
Oh yeah,
Not now.
that's why we're starting the
Didn't
show
get
early.
trashed enough.
Even when we start the show early, though, we're late. So welcome to Friday Night Tights. This is going to be a fun one. Bob Iger and Disney just continue to provide. It is a beautiful thing. And then Elon, as I told Jeremy in the pre-show, I've had a boner since he said that yesterday. I might have to call my doctor. When it's 4 days, do I call my? Oh, it's supposed to be 4 hours. Oh, never mind. But holy shit, that was one of the greatest moments in internet history.
Yep,
that
It's really great. The whole interview is really good. It's a really good interview. Yeah, I highly encourage people to go watch it.
You know what isn't good? The Bob Iger interview. I listened to the whole thing, thankfully, on double speed this morning right before the show. And I was I not yelling at my phone? I was yelling at my phone. I almost slapped it. I had to stop it a couple times. This guy is so full of shit. So it's that makes the Elon thing in context. If you watch his entire interview, so much better. So much better. So we'll get to that. We have a lot of interesting guests. Somebody's missing. I can't remember who. Hi, Jeremy. How's it going from Geeks and Gamers?
What's up? Yeah, I wasn't even supposed to be here today, but then the Elon thing happened, and I'm like, I can't miss Friday Night Tights. I can't miss it to see Gary and the crew roasting this whole Elon Bob Iger situation. It's so just when you think things can't get worse for Disney, it just gets worse and worse. And now you have the richest man on the planet just giving us the viral moment ever, telling Bob Iger to go fuck himself. It's the greatest thing ever. On top of Captain Marvel 2 failing, on top of Wish failing, on top of Marvel being dead, Star Wars being dead, and now you've got Elon Musk just crushing Bob Iger. Now, essentially, Elon's now just a YouTuber. He basically is getting everybody canceled Disney Plus. It's fantastic. I love it. Hail Friday Night Tights. So.
And the fact that it is at the same event that Bob Iger was speaking.
Yes, he was
like
in
that
the
New York
audience.
Times event. Like
apparently, he was in the audience from what we've heard. I don't know if that's true. That's being reported that Bob Iger was in the audience.
So Bob did his interview first.
I'm highly
and then it was
doubtful that
Elon.
Bob Iger just sat around there to like watch it. I doubt he would have done that, but I mean, that's just
especially like he put his cap further down. He was just like,
I think. Well, I was listening. So I think it was Benny Johnson's video. Benny had said that there were reports that Bob Iger was in the audience when that happened. So it wasn't confirmed, but that's what was being said.
I could see him staying because they just pulled out of Twitter, and I would see him going like, okay, what is he going to say about us leaving Twitter?
I could see him getting the fuck out because of that.
I don't think he was like literally in the audience, like amongst the people. He's probably hiding away in some back room watching it.
It was very weird that he named Bob Iger specifically out of all of the companies that have pulled out of Twitter.
Yeah.
And it was followed on by, if you think you can blackmail me with money. So to me, it sounds like there's been some kind of conversation in the background between the two of them. And it really pissed him off specifically.
And the reaction the reaction from that crowd would be the very type of crowd Bob Iger would be sitting in. Because they were like so shocked that someone dropped the F word. Oh, like the interviewer Ryan said it best on Daily. He's like, this interviewer acts like he's never heard the F word before.
I know.
Like, and the audience didn't react the first time. They just sat there like, oh.
Well, yeah,
and then he's
New York
again.
doesn't know what to do with that
weird.
situation. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, am I supposed to run away? What happens next?
Well, throughout the entire Elon interview, the audience was like reacting in weird ways. They would laugh when they wouldn't. There's nobody made a joke. They would just laugh.
A New York Times event. Okay, so it was a bunch of reporters, and I know. Oh, like clutch your pearls. The media that has been lying to people about a fucking cold and all types of other things is all of a sudden upset over the F word. Oh my god!
Yeah, the people in that audience are the only people left who listen to NPR. Like that's the type of audience it is. So
I didn't take it as the interviewer being surprised that he swore. I took it as he had no response because I don't think he's ever met somebody that couldn't be controlled by money. And so to him, just you not caring about millions of dollars kind of blew his mind, and it took his strategy away, and he had to move on to like duty and don't you have a
trust
duty to your audience to calm everything down, and he tried to play the moral high ground instead.
That interviewer was awful, just unprepared, totally inauthentic, and also was trying to bait. He was trying to bait Elon into saying things, asking about his feelings. How did you feel that day? Who cares? But when he said that FU line, it just reminded me of Bane. You think your money gives you power over me?
Yeah,
which was great. Yeah. But the other line that's not getting any attention, the FU line's getting a lot of attention. But the other line that I think was even more important was when he talked about people who do things, they look like they're doing good, but they're actually doing evil. That was a mic drop to me. That was the more important line that should be spread because he's calling out everybody.
Yep.
It was great. That was great.
Yep. Absolutely.
My favorite part was when he forgot the name of the interviewer.
Oh, that was great.
I'm just saying he was his friend.
After he was like, I'm only doing this because we're friends.
I'm sharing this. This is like hilarious to me. Like Elon fucks up, but holy shit. It's low, so just let it play all the way through. Just don't try and make any noise.
I will certainly not pander. And Jonathan, like the only reason I'm here is because you were a friend. Like, what was my speaking fee? You're not making any. First of all, I'm Andrew, but
that's the kind of shit you see in a TV show, like that kind of comedy.
He's weighing up if you'd correct him or just leave it for a while.
Listen,
by the way, I'm Andrew.
Every dude knows that the easiest way to disrespect another guy when you're talking to his girl is to say his name wrong or say a different name to act like you don't know. That's what Elon did.
Jonathan, the only reason I'm here, Jonathan, is because you're my friend. I'm Andrew.
I don't know if you know, I'm a very busy man.
We're gonna just roll through this quick because we got a lot to talk about. So Ryan from RKA Post, hello.
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 Yeah, what the fuck? I'm good.
Stroke.
Next.
You can hit the sound effect, Garrett, if you like. Hi, Odin.
Hey, what's up? Godzilla -1 was amazing. Go see it.
Freaking great movie, one of the best movies I've seen this year. We will talk about it later.
Absolutely.
Like, freaking loved that movie.
Yes.
Hello, Quarter Black.
What's up? I watched both in their entirety. I wish Bob's was longer, giggity, because Elon's was like an hour and 30 minutes, and it got kind of deep into his outlook on the future and why he does what he does. And Bob's was just like, we need a body language analyst on that, and he just was in defense mode the entire time.
Because Bob has none of that. Bob buys shit.
That's all he
does. He's a fraud. We'll get into that.
Very fascinating.
We still call him a great executive. I even heard, they were criticizing him heavily, but I heard even Jeremy Boring say like he's a great executive. It's like, really? I just think he bought a bunch of shit, and now we're seeing the consequences of him buying a bunch of shit.
I know it's an interview to my Patrick Bet David. I mean, look, you can't deny what Bob Iger did to get all of these properties.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, but to convince and broker those things
doesn't mean you can drive that fucking Ferrari.
No. Yeah, but a Ferrari is for sale for anybody that wants to hand you money. Yep. Like George, he convinced George Lucas that he was going to he sold George Lucas with a bill.
That's a great accomplishment. But as far as art is concerned, Bob Iger is fucking terrible. He is poison and cancer to Hollywood, and that's proven out.
I don't even think that, his creative vision, I don't think's ever been something that he's ever been complimented for. It's about brokering deals, but what we've seen is it doesn't matter. Like this just shows you how easily activists can ruin your company if you're beholden to them. And Bob Iger has shown that he's not a true visionary or leader. He was a good deal maker, but he's a terrible leader. And the collapse of Disney will be probably looked upon down the road as the greatest collapse of a company we've ever seen. And that will be directly on Bob Iger's shoulders directly, which it will be remembered for the rest of the time what we're watching right now.
In this interview, he tried to make it look like it wasn't any of his decisions. I was very disappointed with the decisions that were made while it was gone.
Yeah,
every single thing was past the buck. He blamed the Marvel's failure on COVID. Because supervisors weren't allowed to be there because of COVID protocol.
Dude, David Ayer even popped off on that one and said, all we need is more executives telling us what to do on the fucking set.
Right.
That'll fix things.
Yeah. In that same Jeremy Boring interview, he called him a great executive, but then a few sentences later said, from speaking to the people within the company, they fired everybody that can make good movies and filled it full of activists. So
exactly.
I'm not sure how you can actually have both of those things. You're a great executive and you filled your company full of people that will destroy it.
I agree, Disparu, completely. And I think from their perspective, and Jeremy's right on this one, is they just the bean counters just see as like, is it a good deal maker? Did you buy the widget? Did you buy the widget well? You talked the owner of the widget out of selling his widget. That's really awesome. That makes you awesome. No, it doesn't. Not when you're creating art. Not when you're in entertainment.
Time will prove that Michael Eisner was a far better executive for Disney than Bob Iger, because people don't realize that Disney was about to go under, like legitimately, until the Disney decade, which Michael Eisner, I mean, that was a huge, that saved the company. And then of course, Michael Eisner ran out of the company, and that's when Bob Iger saw his rise to prominence.
Jeremy, I don't know how Disney World was back in the 80s because I've never been there, but I know Disneyland was shit. There was a club there. Punk rockers used to skate in the parking lot and get in fights. They would ban people with mohawks and shit, but we'd still get in and get fucking high and in all the rides. And so it was a shit show. There was fights, there were stabbings. It was bad in the 80s. It was a terrible place. It was a fun place to go.
Well, that was one of Walt Disney's big problems with Disneyland was that he couldn't control the environment around it. Once he created Disneyland, this family-friendly place, it got surrounded by bars and strip clubs and tourist traps and all that. Where at Walt Disney World, he controlled the area around it a lot better. So again, I've only been to Disneyland like once or twice, but it seems like a shit show, like just to get in and get out and the surroundings and all that. Whereas Disney World is like a whole different galaxy to go to because they control so much of it, which was Walt's ultimate vision for it.
Yes, we're gonna finish saying hi, and then I'll address what everybody's asking in the chat. So we said hi to Odin, we said hi to Quarter Black Garrett. Now we have a bunch of great guests. Finally, some British representation on this show.
Been asking for it. Been asking for it.
You got it. You got this. What's up, buddy?
Yeah. And what a week for it. The return of a historic British franchise that got murdered in a way greater than anyone could possibly imagine. I mean, I had hope until like he started talking about the whole wheelchair debacle. But even I never no matter what comments, I never expected the episode we got. That was an annihilation.
It was. And thanks for being here. Your mic's a little low. I don't know if that's still happening. Sorry to.
Is that any better?
It's a little better. Yes. Thanks for being here all month, Disparu. You the man, buddy. We also have a whalesman, an interdimensional whales dude. What's up, MauLer? How's it going?
I was gonna say happy to be here. Always happy to be here. And that I just want to say, what was my speaking fee? I'm here for my good friends like Jarmy and Gary. I want to make sure you understand that. It's sparing a lot of, I wouldn't be here normally. It charge like $1,000 per minute. So just saying.
And Brian,
I'm here because I'm your friend, Brandon.
And then all of you are like, is he speaking to me? Which one is it? But yeah.
In no scenario should that, like, Elon should look bad in that situation, and he doesn't.
But he doesn't.
It makes the interviewer look bad. In any normal situation, Elon would look bad, but because it's Elon, it's like, yeah, fuck that guy.
He's a little funny. I don't think either. He just looks goofy. It's just like a goofy thing for Elon.
He's a goofy dude. He's on the spectrum.
Yeah, I think that's why he's so great.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was a hostile interview, so like disrespecting the guy who's being hostile to you in the first place, it makes you look better.
Oh, you know what I would do? I would go on the interview and just call them different names each. Like, listen, Bill. And then
okay, Brian.
Let me say something, Keith.
And then everybody's friend, Frank Gore.
Frank Gore. Speaking of calling people the wrong name, we got Frank Gore in that.
That's how I got this name. It's great to be here with you guys. I mean, Gary and X-Ray Girl are about a mile away from me in Pasadena. I was just a little late getting here because my show went late, but X-Ray Girl can pound them down. That's all I want to say about that.
What?
Excuse me?
Drink a lot.
That is,
What am I saying?
Jesus.
You knew what I meant.
I would say,
Chat.
but chat's going crazy.
Calm down, chat. Calm down.
No, I'm just saying
She could just put a lot down her throat, you know?
A lot of liquids.
Oh,
yes, exactly. So no. There we go. I knew it. I derailed the show.
He didn't expect that. He didn't expect somebody to be able to fit that much in their mouth, considering their Asian heritage, so they're not well practiced or something like that, right? I get what you're saying.
But yeah, no, we had a good time,
this is my resignation.
No, this is
X-Ray Girl also
this is my last
taking
night
this
on
over
Friday Night
off.
Tights.
I want you to imagine me like your parents, and you're not allowed to leave. So,
but it was very heartwarming to see X-Ray Girl meet her dad, who went for cigarettes like 30 years ago. The the Merciless.
Yep,
So
that was pretty awesome to see.
That reunion was cool, and then I don't know. We sort of drank and hung out at my place, and then we went to the Dirty Diver, aka the 35er in Pasadena.
bunch of nasty Dodger
That's a
shit
cool little
all
place.
over the place. But it's cool.
Yeah, there you go. But it was
That
fun
nasty
though.
Dodger shit everywhere.
What can you do? It's the local team.
I just put Padres graffiti on everything. They won't.
But no, that was a blast, and I'm looking forward to this weekend. LA Comic-Con. We'll
That's
be
right.
down there this weekend. We have several panels, and I know it's going to create some chaos. But this Disney stuff, watching Disney imploding in real time, is fascinating because everything that we've discussed, everything that's been discussed on this show and on many of your channels, it's all true. After Alan Ng the Merciless did his Wish review, which has anyone else here seen Wish? I finally just saw it. Okay. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's god awful. And then the result of that has been Disney animators currently employed by Disney and former employees reaching out to us at Film Threat, to basically confirm, tell stories, talk about how bad the environment is there. Here's the thought. Gary and I were talking about this last night. Like these people that work at Disney or have worked in animation, they could easily reach out to other trade publications like Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, IndieWire, Deadline, sources that, you talk about, but they're too afraid because everyone in those companies are compromised. And what we've learned is this is a top down. It's not just people at the top. The activist rot is from the bottom up. And Alan is working on a story. He's working on a story that'll be on the website. I can't promise it'll even finish before the end of the year because we want it all vetted and accurate. But everything you've been talking about is all true and worse. It's worse than
much worse. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what Gina let some stuff slip. Did the pizza come in the background? We're getting pizza. There's pineapple on it.
Pineapple on it.
Disgusting.
So, Gina let some of it out when she put up her tweet, and that was eye opening. There's more to that. Some people who are involved with Rings of Power reached out to me like a year ago. So it's crazy that people are reaching out to us now and not going, well, the trades suck. They're just the fucking mouthpiece. They just regurgitate press releases at this point. So it's no surprise, really. And they should be talking to Chris Gore. They absolutely should be talking to Alan Ng and Chris Gore. Right. For one, they'll protect their sources. And number two, they'll tell the fucking truth. They won't put a spin on what you're telling them. So that's what, that's why the media gets so, that's why right down to comic books. I wish Az was here. We'll discuss that in just a second. But the comic books media, I air quotes, it's never been, there's no journalism in fucking comic books. There's no comic book journalists. They're all a bunch of fucking hacks like Heidi McDonald, but they're pissed because, Thinking Critical or Perch or whatever, or your boy Zach, more people listen to them and watch them when it comes to reviewing comics news now, getting real news. More people listen to us. I listen to more people. I watch way more YouTube than I should. But
I know that for a fact. This motherfucker watches everybody. If you're in the audience and you're making content, it's a good chance Gary's watching your video. Okay.
Oh yeah, I want to know what you're saying because it's real. That's why I'd rather go. So that's why we're winning in this. We do have to, for one. Hi, X-Ray girl. How's it going?
Hi.
Gonna introduce her. Yeah. You gonna at least finish the show before you go?
Maybe.
Okay.
I mean, I am getting.
I'm surprised she's conscious, but that's
yeah. Well, the drinks are at your place, Chris. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? Guess what? Film Threat is like 400 subscribers.
That's right. Thank you,
100,000 subscribers. I know out of the nearly 12,000 people, there's at least 400 of you that is not subscribed to Film Threat. Let's make it 100K before this show is over.
Let's get Film Threat to 100K.
Yes.
Thank you. That's awesome.
We need to share that link too. Just want to acknowledge that our good friend Az has passed away. So we're missing very much.
And this is unprecedented, okay? But for the next month, all of our channels, we welcome RIP as super chats for the rest of the month.
All proceeds will go to a charity.
This shows you how much we love Az. We're all willing to accept donations on all of our channels for Az.
When he comes back now, Gary, you need to say somehow he returned.
Brilliant.
Nobody's ever really gone.
So rest in peace, Az, who will probably be streaming a game right over this stream
as we speak.
As we speak. So, holy crap! Where do we start, Garrett?
You know, I was thinking that as well. Should we start in chronological order with Bob Iger, then Elon, or do we start with the juicy bit?
No, we'll start with Bob Iger because we need to go over that.
Build.
Just real quick back to like Doctor Who. We talked about it a lot this week. I made a video. We're going to continue to talk about it. It's Disney Doctor Who. That's no joke. This is Disney Doctor Who now. They took listen, Doctor Who did its own damage before Disney got there, but Disney decided to like double, triple down and make it worse. I watched the Marvels and I didn't think I would see something worse this year. And I did with that Doctor Who special. It is 1,000 times worse.
So we watched the clip over on G&G and, we had Hollywood scholar Jed break it down for us. He's a big Doctor Who fan. Man, it just as someone that doesn't know anything about Doctor Who, it seems so much worse than what we've seen out of Disney, Star Wars, and Marvel and everything. Just how blatant it is. It is so bad. You know what I mean? Now, as a fan of this stuff, some of you guys, how bad is it comparatively speaking to Marvel, Star Wars?
Nobody ever called Luke a male presenting Jedi.
Well, that was the thing, though. It was how blatant and blunt they were with it. But then it made more sense when Davis came out and said this was the kids' episode. So they didn't need to be nuanced or try and sneak anything by. It was just meant to hammer it home to the kids that this is what you're meant to believe. This is like your lesson for the day. Now, the next two are supposed to be more adult episodes, and he says they're darker and they're not really intended for kids. So I'm interested to see whether it dials back and he tries to be a bit more nuanced with it rather than just hitting you in the face over and over again. Because if he does, it means it's intentional rather than just
absolutely. I agree. And damage done. Whatever fucking chance you had of winning new fans and bringing back old ones is gone. Just forget it.
That amazed me. I thought you could at least hold off for 3 episodes, get people back, and then hit them. It's like, no, we're too thick to even do that.
Jeremy, it's the single worst case of franchise aside, Mary suicide, whatever you want to call it, ever. Like of all time. It beats Star Wars, it beats Star Trek because they went back to their origin, retconned the Doctor and made him a diverse girl. So that'd be like retconning saying Luke Skywalker was never Darth Vader's kid. It was originally Reva or some shit like that.
It kind of reminds me of Doc Fate.
To be fair,
murdering John Connor, switching him with a girl, and then telling us that Sarah Connor didn't even like being a mum. It was like,
To be fair, that's what they're doing with Ahsoka now. So they're basically turning. But yes, this is blatant, So yeah, this is.
Can't wait for Girl Mad Max. It's gonna be great too.
The reason it's worse, smaller than Terminator is because there was other shitty Terminator movies, but
it's already destroyed.
Terminator is not like as culturally important to say America or the world as Doctor Who is to the UK, and it's been around for decades and decades and decades. But it's comparable. You're right because James Cameron fucking wrote the story for Dark Fate, so
he endorsed it.
And he endorsed
freaking openly.
James Cameron, Terminator, Predator.
He hasn't been the best storyteller in recent years. So
Film Thread is now at 100,000 subscribers.
Are you kidding?
Let's go!
Whoa, that was fast.
Congrats, dude.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Sarah
Me too.
being here with the pizza.
Pizza.
Congratulations, Chris.
Congratulations, Chris Gore.
Yay!
I am humbled. Thank you so much. Wow.
Who gets
awesome.
You or Alan?
Fantastic.
Who gets the plaque? Who gets the plaque?
Look at there.
I don't know. I think we're gonna share it.
I think you should mud wrestle for it.
Like the Stanley Cup. Like the Stanley Cup. We'll just sort of share it every once in a while. Or Hunger Games. Who knows?
That sounds really good.
Really wants to get
mud wrestle.
Alan wants to get 100,069 subscribers because that.
Well, you
I think we can make that today.
Chat.
That's awesome.
I knew we could count on you. We love you. Thank you, Chat.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I won't.
Awesome, man.
So let's get to Bob Iger decided to speak and made it 1,000 times worse. This guy is fucking terrible. He used to be pretty nuanced when it came to the media because he didn't talk very much. He would give his very, very protected, pre-screened, question interviews.
Well, that was one of the criticisms about him before all of this fell apart was, obviously Walt Disney was this charismatic, personality that represented the company. Michael Eisner did a pretty good job of that. He was no match for Walt Disney, but he was a guy that set a tone with personality, whereas Bob Iger worked from the shadows. He never really talked. And honestly, that was a much better time when he just didn't talk. And now he's proven that he is horrible in front of the camera having interviews, and he doesn't know how to talk or how to answer questions. And the more politically correct that he tries to be, the worse that it is.
Did you see the mask slip a couple of times when the interviewer brought up pelts? And you could tell he was pissed. He's like, I don't want to talk about that. And I wouldn't take advice from that person anyway. It's like, oh, there's your weatherman right there.
There's some other little interesting bits in there that get skimmed over because all the other crazy shit he says. But he admitted that he recreated Walt Disney's office one for one as he left it. And sometimes he likes to relax in there. He likes to sit and relax.
Does he jerk off in there?
I'm sure he does. This motherfucker is sitting in his seat and going,
We'll get to audio. There's also another point right around 9 minutes that I thought was a huge takeaway. When he was talking about ABC and the thought of selling them, and he was saying, no, that's what the media said. So he was basically parsing words and semantics, but he did say after that, we float stuff out in the media to test it amongst the public. He said that out loud. And I've been waiting for an executive to say that for a long time because that's what most of the marketing is. Yeah. So they do it. They do leak shit. They do say stuff to see what the public says. Of course they do. We know this, but he said it. And in the
last 3 days, we've had She-Hulk has been renewed and She-Hulk has been cancelled as two different messages. So
see what makes the world happier.
And also, I don't know if we can overestimate how many insiders or scoopers literally just make stuff up.
We can't. Ryan, most of it's made up. I'll say it. Most of it, 99.99999% is made up. It's bullshit. I mean, it's
obviously
good.
Except for our Lord and Savior Mike Zero. Obviously everything
Mike Zero has gone all right. Have you seen he
just took any topics that I started talking about. He started fucking making up the most outlandish you can imagine, based on topics I made. So he hopped on the Will Smith thing, Rachel Zegler, whatever.
Rachel Zegler has joined the Communist Party.
It's back to back videos. It's Rachel Zegler taking legal action against these studios, right? And then the next video is Brie Larson taking legal action against Disney for the Marvel's flop. It's come on, man.
Serve pizza. So sweet.
Oh my god. Oh, I thought that was a reaction to Chrissy showing up to stream.
That's how I greet Chrissy all the time. What's up, baby? Yeah.
All right. Which part would you like to go into first?
What's just the beginning? I think the beginning is his fucking fiction about I never wanted to come back to Disney.
That's such bullshit, dude.
Such fucking bullshit. Whatever you think we should start. If you have that clip.
He never left.
Obvious. Yeah, he did. He never left because wasn't it reported that he never even left his office? Bob can
screenshot. By the way.
Take that. It's almost like the Jeb Bush meme.
Save material. I'm gonna print screen that right now.
He looks so annoyed just sitting there.
He looks dead.
I was disappointed in what I was seeing, both during the transition period when I was still there and while I was out. But I really worked hard at distancing myself from it because, one, I couldn't do anything about it. In a way, it wasn't my business at all, really. It was his business to run. And I was not happy with what I was.
Pause. Okay. So Legal Mindset put out a great tweet saying this motherfucker never, by the way, he took 2 showers a day. He never left that office. He never gave it to Bob Chapek, the one with the shower. And
2 showers a day.
2 showers a day. Yeah. What the hell?
So he was there all the time.
but wasn't there the article, Ryan, of they were doing a meeting on the plane, and Bob Chapek wanted it to be like private, because fucking Bob Iger wasn't part of the team or something like that. And didn't Bob Iger get all miffed about that?
It's actually, so you're mixing up a little bit. So on a plane to go to a meeting, Bob Iger and then CFO, was it like Christine McCarthy, whoever the person that just left recently, they started talking about business and plans, and Bob Iger got pissed and thought it was disrespectful that they were talking about all these plans in front of him. I think that's what it was.
Yeah. But why was he on the fucking plane then? You know what? Then leave. Dude, if you don't want to have people to talk about shit, then fucking leave, which he never did.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy, and I remember when we did the stream about it, Jeremy, this guy quit like days after COVID, days before, right around
before,
before, that's right, before, because he had inside info. So he quit before COVID. He knew it was coming. He was setting up Bob Chapek to be a fucking fall guy, and that's all it is. But this is all fiction now.
Again, so I've followed Disney for a long time, and Bob Iger, there's been at least 3 or 4 people that were being basically groomed, keyword there for Disney, but groomed to take over for Bob Iger, and they all kept falling through. So it was like a long-term plan. Like they would find someone that, okay, this is the guy that's being anointed. He's going to work directly under Bob Iger, and this is going to be Bob Iger's, the person that takes over, the heir apparent, whatever. And they would keep falling through. And so Bob would then keep extending his contract because they couldn't find the right person. And then suddenly, just boom, one day he's like, yep, I'm done. And I'm like, whoa, that is not how this has always gone with him. This is not consistent with how they've been trying to set up his replacement. Him just randomly jumping ship right when the COVID stuff was breaking overseas, and then Chapek out of nowhere, a very unpopular individual within the Disney communities, suddenly takes over. It just, nothing felt right about it. And I said that this seemed like Bob Iger was going to step away for a little while everything goes to hell, because there's no way that can be controlled, and he wants to come back in and save the day. And unfortunately, that hasn't worked out for him, because he's only came back and made it significantly worse. And yet he's still blaming COVID for it. Ridiculous. So that's where we're at with it right now.
It is. Does a good leader blame people?
No.
For anything?
Always everything's bad is your fault. Everything's good is your team's fault. That's how it works.
I was going to say as well, it's kind of curious, because what do the people who make the Marvels and whatever else have to say about his comments? Because
I can't believe he just said that black female director needed more supervision from white executives.
Yeah, you'd think that would be something that would come out. But I mean, just a fundamental spine-having person might be like, fuck you, Bob. Like, we tried, but obviously they didn't, because we saw the movie too. But still,
yeah, I don't know how.
Hey, maybe they did need supervision. She's an early director. She needs some direction.
So we talked about on EFAB before is like you never hear about the studio interference that is good. We always end up hearing about the bad. It's like there's got to be times where studios actually made a decision that was pretty good, I think. I know that we were looking into it on EFAB, but wasn't Ike Perlmutter against bringing Iron Man into Civil War? And they went over his head with that decision. And I think that, I don't know. I think Civil War was pretty badass with Iron Man in it. Not that the story couldn't have worked without him. It's just that
I don't recall reading that even in the book.
It came up. I thought that was one of the decisions that clashed with him and Kevin Feige.
Perlmutter had some shitty decisions. Don't get me wrong. He was behind. He signed off on the publishers canceling Fantastic Four and trying to push the Inhumans over the X-Men rights. I mean, he made some bad decisions, but
he had a lot of good ones as well, though, right?
Yeah, but a lot of the racism accusations are bullshit, because he tried to get a Black Panther movie off the ground with Wesley Snipes. He was behind that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's more of the blame game that we get from Feige. But it looks like it's Iger's MO. We can continue that. Is there any more to that, or do you want to get to the next one?
I'm jumping to the next one.
Okay, let's get to the next one.
This is pretty close next to it. He's still responding to the Bob Chapek question.
A long period of time. I was proud of those accomplishments. It hurts when something that you've put your heart and soul into and that you care about so much is going through a difficult time.
Okay, so let's then talk about succession, because there's a lot of people in this room, business leaders, who have to think about their own succession, other types of succession. What was your mistake then? To the degree you think that Bob Chapek was a mistake, and I assume you imagine it's maybe one of the biggest.
I feel bad for
first
Bob
of
at this
all,
point.
I'm not the only one that may have considered it a mistake. The board obviously had its issues with Bob. And I've tried really, he worked for me for quite a long time. I've tried hard to conduct my own post-mortem just so that we as a company don't do it again. What did we do wrong? And we've discovered certain things that perhaps we could have done better, but there were also a lot of unknowables, and I don't want to get into any of those.
But is there a lesson for you in terms of who you're supposed to listen to, in terms of...
it was interesting when the vice president was talking about it, there's no job that really trains you for this job. In many respects, that's true at Disney too. It's a large, very complex company.
Who's he referring to there with vice president?
He's got to be referring to the worst.
Was she there?
Kamala Khan.
I call her Kamala. Like, yeah. And I saw.
Don't mispronounce her name.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was so cringe. That was so cringe. Yeah, but yeah, the fact that he's referencing Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris was there. She spoke there. Yeah.
Did she teach us about AI and how many letters it was?
School bus is a yellow thing.
AI is artificial. AI is artificial intelligence. It's intelligence that's artificial.
It's computers that have intelligence on the internet.
God.
Thanks, Kamala.
Have there been a meme? Has there been a meme created with the two Bobs from Office Space, and they're just sitting down like, what would you say you do here?
What would you say you do here? Office Space is truly one of the great comedies. It really is. Doesn't get talked about anymore these days as much as it should.
Have you seen Silicon Valley yet?
Oh, that's a very good one too.
No,
freaking fantastic. It's
I know.
I'm
gonna have to check it out.
That entire speech just could have been from Silicon Valley, because he essentially said this guy was crap. It's not just me that thinks it. Everybody thinks he's crap.
Yeah.
We've gone through and worked out what all the problems were, and but I'm not going to say anything specific. It's like, yeah, because you don't know. You have absolutely no idea what's done wrong.
And he was like,
you don't want to be held accountable for not changing it in the future.
And he was like, we assessed and we made mistakes. We made some mistakes, possibly, maybe. Probably not. It was not Bob
Chapek as a mistake. Like he was a mistake. And he's like, and he's like smiling. It's like, damn.
Everybody agrees.
Yeah, a Silicon Valley thing will be, we're trying to make the world a better place, which he definitely gets into.
Yes.
That's something that's repeated a lot in the show if you haven't seen it. Trying to make the world a better place through integrated technologies and apps that can find boobs.
Always alive.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm looking for kind of a reaction to my own thought process, I like to test that process in public, particularly in ways that I might be able to actually get a reaction from the investment community.
So you know what I think he's talking about there? I think he's talking about that summit he was at a couple months ago where he floated the idea of Disney selling all of their linear TV assets. I think that's exactly what he's
talking about. Yep.
And now, whether he's being genuine about what he's saying and that's actually a thing he actually does, or whether he's kind of using that as an excuse to backtrack on what he had said from a couple months ago. Either way, I believe that's probably what he's referencing.
But also, considering Disney is an entertainment company and lives and dies off its audience, the person he wants to get the impression from is investors.
Huh.
You would have thought, float it to the audience to see what they think about the way we're moving. It's like, no.
Audience doesn't matter to these people. Audience is just a dollar sign. That's all that matters.
No, they're called consumers.
It's stakeholder capitalism.
It's content, and they're consumers of content. It's not an art. It's not storytelling to an audience that want to hear fantastic stories that have heart and moral, and it's not that. It's content for your content platform for the investors. That's all it is.
They've taken the audience for granted, right? They treated like the batteries in the Matrix, where it's just like, well, they'll just keep going. We just got to keep something on the screen. That's all.
Yeah, we just got to keep filling the troughs up, and the pigs will come to eat.
Yeah, eat your slop.
Yeah, I wouldn't stand for being called a consumer. fuck that. You're a customer. You're a paying customer. Your money matters, and it proves how. That's just what little respect they have for you.
Well, it has to be, because even if you just focused on the money rather than art, you would still treat it like a normal retail business. So it'd be, this is a product. I need a good product for the audience. So whether you thought it was art or just content for the network, you actually have to have a low opinion of the people you're serving to just think they'll eat trash. Like, we don't even need to care about the quality of it.
Well, yeah, we have people like Stuckman out there, who thinks that the audience is just too fucking scared and dumb to enjoy good movies. He said it.
Scared and dumb.
You're too scared and dumb to enjoy movies, and people like Stuckman are too smart and
someone in the chat pointed out at the beginning of the video, he said he didn't understand the Marvels. Like, is he scared of the Marvels? Is what happened? Are you okay? You gonna make
Isn't he basically at the point where he won't review things he doesn't like? He only reviews things he likes. Yeah, right. Yeah,
and he won't give ratings for any of the films either. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's not doing ratings.
What is it that you do here, Stuckman?
By the way, I have that Stuckman book. It's like the 50 movies you must see, and it's literally the most basic. Book. It's so lame.
Is Blade Runner in it?
Yeah, it's all this like simple, like, yeah, these are really obvious. I guess I should see Back to the Future. So
yeah,
that book,
go see The Empire Strikes Back.
That book, for the last 3 years, that book is in every white elephant gathering at Film Thread. Nobody wants it. It's hilarious. We're like, oh, I got the Stuckman book.
You should watch The Godfather. It's really good. It's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like
next on the list, you should watch part 2.
Right.
One I'd always reference is he had a review of The Haunting of Hill House, a season of television. It's 4.5 minutes, I think. How did you do that? And it's like, he spends the first minute just saying Mike Flanagan is a director, writer who created other things such as this. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's a quarter of the video done. Like, no. So I've never seen a content creator that has so little to say. He's just got nothing, zero insight. Poor guy. Hope he has success as a director, I guess.
Apparently he had something to say in his last video by calling the audience scared and dumb. That's something.
People in the EVA has been theorizing as to how that even happened. It's like, was that just him just shooting in the dark? Just being like, I got to say something. Yeah, I don't know what though. The audience is afraid. That's the problem.
I used to watch him back in the day, and it's just amazing the 2016 moment and how it affected so many people in the entertainment media. It really is crazy because he's one of the many that he hates the audience now. He hates that film discussion has turned in his mind so negative, and it's like film discussion hasn't turned negative. Films have turned negative. They've turned to dog shit, and the audience represents that. So give us better shit, and the discussion will turn into a more positive direction.
Jeremy, he's made friends in the industry, and he doesn't want to lose his connections and his networking. Yeah. So instead, he'll hide it with, "It's not nice to be mean. These people work really hard."
So instead, he's scared and dumb.
Right.
Well, he had little to say to begin with, but now he's got even less to say because he's like. He's got no fangs. It's just gums.
I think it's your job to actually educate your audience and say, not just why you liked a movie, but like here are some insights about it. And also, it's partially your job to diversify the taste of your audience by suggesting other stuff. I mean, I've learned from watching all of your channels, other things that I should be checking out, right? Like, and when we cover little indie movies that no one's ever heard of, I know there's a really good documentary that people should check out. It just opened in theaters. It's called A Disturbance in the Force, and it's a documentary about the making of the Star Wars Holiday Special. It's amazing. We reviewed it, and it played at South by Southwest, and it's made by the guy who produced Napoleon Dynamite. Really good small film, but my point is, if you think that of your audience, you have done a disservice to them, not just by calling them out, but it's your job to bring them, to educate them, and because it's a lifelong education. We're all learning as we go.
And we also have to be, in this new era, be open to being educated by our audience.
Right.
Because we don't know everything. We're not the be all end all. And that's something, to circle back. Sorry, Gina. She said to retire that forever, but I just didn't. Disney has ignored their audience for many years now. Their audience has been telling them over and over again exactly what they want, exactly how to fix this fucking problem. And these are people who know, like Ryan knows about Star Wars, knows the thing. You know, I know a couple things about Marvel. So do a lot of people here. A lot of people were MCU fans. And we really were trying to turn things around. It's like, hey, you know, we'd love to still enjoy this shit, but if you're going to keep producing shit, we're not going to say it's not shit. That would not be honest. And now it's undeniable. This has been an incredible couple months.
Well, it is, but it's like it all does kind of, and I know you wanted to move on from the Stuckman thing, but I do think it does apply. Like that old guard of the mentality that he had was not to listen to his audience. It never was about it was about kissing up to the studios and getting the access. That was that old guard of like, if we're in good with the studios, we're going to get to see these things early. We're going to see press screenings and we're going to get the reviews out and we're going to build our audience like that by getting early access. So it's about being and connected with the studio, and the studio mentality has never been about the audience either. So that's all intertwined. So now we're at that point where you have all of these new, channels and new places to talk about things, obviously with Friday Night Tights and all of our channels and other people. It's built off fans. It's built off listening to the audience. And that's where Disney, their breakdown is they've never cared about the audience. They never wanted to care about the audience. They care, or I'd say they don't care about the fans. They cared about the audience from a general audience standpoint, because the general audience will, typically the general audience will go see whatever is kind of trending and stuff like that. But the fan base was the group of people that kept it healthy enough for the general audience to be interested in the first place. And now none of that's being listened to. And so it's all intertwined. Yeah, absolutely.
It's your foundation.
Chad's been here the whole time, Chad. What are you talking about?
Just in the backstage.
Just been a bit quiet.
I'm Australian. I can't keep track of all these different times we're starting at. Oh.
Hi, Chad. Hey, can you give an RIP to Az real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My heart is broken.
This is how retarded we are, because we don't realize we've got like 16,000 people, and there are a few people in the chat that are like, oh my God, what happened to Az? What happened
to Az? Az passed away.
It turns out if you go a fucking year without like any good shit, like fucking soda or fast food or whatever the fuck Az deprived himself from, you just die.
Yeah, there's nothing left. I hope he gets laid a ton this month.
Or at least
because he passed away.
Or at least jerks off a few times.
Well, at one point he did do day since last FAP, and then that just went. It was like, there's going to be zero forever, there's no point.
It's a constant zero.
Hours.
Like 3 minutes.
I was gonna say if I could ever track that in days, that would something like crazy would happen. If I could track that in days, I'm probably if I can track that in days, that means I'm on chemotherapy or something. Like,
you can't physically do it
in the coma ward.
By the
way, with Chris here, because it's actually that I was hoping to get him for the episode because of some of the things that Stuckman said, but I was just going to say, to summarize quickly, right? He highlights the films that are completed that get like prevented from release. So we've got physical media dying out and people aren't buying it, and theaters dying out. These are like 3 of the major points of the video, and then he says, conclusion: viewers are too afraid to see new things.
Yes.
How did you do that?
Flower Moon didn't make enough money or something, and it's like, you know what? You'd be hard pressed for people 20 years ago to watch a Scorsese movie for 3 fucking hours in a theater.
Yeah, so like I talked about this a little bit earlier on stream about of all the movies this year, I think 14 movies have been released this year with $200 million+ budgets. Only one of them has potentially broken even, and that's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah,
everything else has lost money. So like, but most of those things are not new things. Most of those are not the Napoleons or the Killers of the Flower Moon. Most of those are fucking sequels and franchise movies. So the idea that people don't want to try something new, that doesn't even fly with all this other stuff that's failing that way.
The only thing that's true about that is that it's Hollywood that doesn't want to try anything new.
Yes,
it's Hollywood that doesn't want to try anything new.
No, Bob Iger gets into that. And his mentality it's retarded.
And that's why he just announced like Frozen 3, 4, and 5 or whatever. In
two Frozen, two Furious.
When the interviewer, I could say, you guys said that the interviewer is really bad. I thought when the interviewer brought out that quote from Walt Disney and read it out and saying like, we don't want to go and do sequels to movies for no reason, and he was like right to his face. I thought it was perfect. It was really good.
It is.
We'll get to that.
Let's get to it. But Elon, it's funny. Elon, tweeted out a very basic tweet. This is true. Don't judge a man by his actions. I'm paraphrasing. Not his words. Words are wind. That's all Bob is. By the way, pop that back up.
He's all wind.
I'm gonna get to the wind.
Yeah, as time goes on, it's going to be harder to share these because
you say that, but he said go fuck yourself, and that was pretty good wind.
That was really good. Very windy.
That was good wind. That is good wind.
Like when he thought twice about it the second time and just said GFY afterwards. It was like, that could at least be told to people.
Very recently, as you've seen, you get the box
Damn
office
it.
numbers every weekend. A number of these films have not performed. They have not performed the way they used to. People question the creative magic at Disney. You can look at the Marvels. I'm curious why you think that disappointed. You could look at Wish. Indiana Jones. What do you think? What's happening? Well,
I think you have to look
This
at it a
guy
couple
fucking
of
did
ways.
his
First of
research
all-
by watching our videos or something.
Wouldn't it be so
Like, have
funny
you
if
heard
he
of
was
these
like,
guys
so,
Friday Night Tights?
Indiana Jones. Why is it so fucking terrible, Bob?
Can you answer the question, Bob? Why did you put a woman in it and make it gay?
Are you familiar with South Park?
Bob, have you watched any of these films yourself?
Well, I think the movie business is changing. Actually,
it's the
box
big-
office today is
Oh,
about
it's certainly
70
changing.
It's not
certainly
because the
changing.
movies
Yeah.
are shit.
That's certainly changing. Because now there's this new thing going on, ladies and gentlemen, that if you actually make a movie that audiences like, they actually continue to go see it. It's totally changing.
Wow.
It's totally changing.
Bob is
Totally.
like, the movies are changing. He goes, no, Bob. Indiana Jones tried to save Hitler from the Romans. You gotta talk about
That was the premise of the film.
we need to talk about this.
And I
Say it out loud. It's so funny.
I believe what he's about to do is talk about how streaming has changed. He's like, the audience is now used to these things coming out on streaming shortly after. I would agree that the landscape of the entertainment industry has changed. I don't think it has anything to do with people waiting 45 days to watch something on streaming. Because I think if people want to see something, they don't wait a month and a half. They go see it.
Right.
But I do think that with the abundance of content that's out there and the ease of availability to watch fucking anything, rather than go out and watch Wish or some new Disney movie, you can turn on a show that you like and watch that again, or you can turn on YouTube, or you can listen to a podcast. There's so much stuff out there, but it's proven with the Barbies, with the Oppenheimers, with Super Mario Brothers, with the Avatar 2s, even from his own fucking company, like
Top Gun Maverick.
Like, if you give people something to go, they're not going to wait for it to come out on streaming. They're going to go and support it.
Because they're going to hear the hype and they're going to go.
And also, and you do want to build like an event nature around it, or to like give them a reason, like obviously like Nolan or Oppenheimer, like there's this thing of like, go see this on the biggest screen possible for the grand experience or whatever. Top Gun Maverick was a movie that I don't remember any of us thinking it was going to be this monumental success. I thought it was going to be kind of okay until we were worried of what they were going to do with it. But the word of mouth is what made this thing an event type of film, because it brought us back to the 80s and 90s kind of action movies. And yeah, I mean, it's just like, we're going to talk about Godzilla later, but like, it's a $15 million budget. And people are going crazy over it. And apparently it looks better than anything that Disney has produced in the last few years from Marvel or Star Wars or anything.
Straight up. The way the business has changed is that people no longer give these studios and these big movies the benefit of the doubt. There's nobody on a random Friday that's just like, hey, you want to just run to the mall and see what's playing and go catch a movie? People don't fucking do that anymore. No. Like they don't have any of that like walk up business, or people that are just going out for a date night on Friday because, hey, we just go to the movies on Fridays or Saturday. Let's see what's there. They're not getting that audience anymore.
And whose fault is that? That's the thing. Is like Bob tries to say, oh, it's the entertainment industry. It's the movie business that's changing.
Who changed it?
Who changed it?
They
Who
did.
changed it, dude?
They're the ones who went, you know what?
Man,
Fuck the
damn it.
theaters. Fuck the
Exactly.
theaters. We're going to go all in during COVID. And then our buddy Biden is going to bail out the fucking theaters so they won't fail. So we can have our little experiment on the taxpayers' dollar. And then when we come out, we go, wow, the movie's business is fucking changing, man. That's crazy. How'd that happen?
So strange.
Go fuck yourself, Bob.
And I would argue, and I know Odin and Ryan will probably know, but like, so of the movies in the past year that have made over $1 billion, I think you can make a justification for all of them. Like, I haven't seen Barbie. I know a lot of people have problems with Barbie, but like it catered to the audience it was going after.
Yes,
and it had practical effects for the most part. I'm not saying it was all practical, but it did have practical effects, correct? In the movie, like true sets and everything.
They created a bunch of sets for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got things like Oppenheimer, Barbie, Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers, I can confirm, used practical effects. Yes.
Well, no.
Freddy's. I think Freddy's had actual animatronics.
Yeah.
Goombas.
Well, what I'm saying is all the movies that have made over $1 billion or near $1 billion, Top Gun Maverick, all of these movies, you look at it and you go, that's not Thor: Love and Thunder. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason that we can see why these movies, obviously Avatar made its, $2 billion or whatever, but there's no bullshit that's the audiences are getting smarter with the movies they're going to actually take their time out of their day and lives to go see now. It's not just because it's glitz and glamour and it's a CGI fest. I think people are sick and tired of CGI lazy ass films. That's what I think. I think
Look at what Taika Waititi said. Like, I didn't really care about Thor at all. I just did it for the money because I was poor. I mean, if there's any attitude of I'm going to make it. Yeah, honest, but it's honest that I'm going to make a terrible movie because I don't care about this at all. Like, it means nothing to me. So,
well, that's the attitude that got us Ragnarok. So those are fighting words. MauLer's here.
I was about to say Ragnarok has plenty in it that's celebratory. It's still got plenty of flaws. It's just I'm sure everyone concedes that Thor: Love and Thunder and Ragnarok are not the same.
No,
I agree.
they're not even close.
I didn't like either of them.
My biggest
it just shows a disdain for the audience again. It's like, I just, bought the house. I don't give a fuck about this movie. I don't care what the audience thinks. They're just there to be consumers and give me money and not ask any questions.
Just to remind everybody of history, I remember being one of the only people that hated Taika Waititi's addition to The Mandalorian. Everyone was like, no, it was really funny and good when he made Stormtroopers retarded.
When he made Stormtroopers retarded literally 10 seconds after Stormtroopers just murdered some it's a very personal thing where Stormtroopers were effective enough to kill this dude, and then you show how laughably dumb they are a second later in the story.
I do think that the industry is changing from a perspective of budgets don't matter. They don't matter. They used to matter when you were on the edge of cutting edge technology, and the only way you could make his film look this great was because you were using the limited resources. Now everybody has these resources, and now it's the more authentic it feels and looks, the better. The more overly produced it looks and feels, the more people aren't connected to it.
The budgets don't matter from now on, because as Ryan just pointed out, all the movies that they spent over $200 million on, well over 200 on most of them, by the way, only one of them was profitable, and that was Guardians of the Galaxy, which made, I don't know,
it's not as profitable as it should have been, though. Me and you talked about this.
Yeah, then it made look at when you take the money that it made from China and the international markets, which was significant compared to the domestic, it barely broke even. With $250 million production budget, $150 million marketing budget, that thing barely broke even.
And that 250 is just what we know. Like one of the things that we've been figuring out is as the tax breaks and the tax records from the UK have been coming out, because that's where they do a lot of this filming, we realize that they cost so much more. Like Doctor Strange costs an extra $100 million.
Yeah, isn't it weird? Somebody told me about a year and a half ago that they have been lying or misrepresenting. That's the word they used. I use the word lying about their budgets to the tune of $100 million per movie. That's weird. The news came out afterwards. That's so strange.
If I remember, I think Guardians was filmed in Georgia, so I don't know if
one of the things that the people that have been reaching out to me after our Wish review have all said is that Disney has a problem with middle management bloat.
Yes,
right. So everything costs too much. And I really believe when you look at like Godzilla -1 cost $15 million. The creator, whatever you thought of that movie, cost $80 million with those special effects.
Wow.
You have got this middle management bloat that basically makes Disney about as efficient as the US government when it comes to getting anything done and efficiently allocating capital. They're terrible at it, and that should be Bob Iger's job. That should be his job. Yeah. How is the money spent? Where is the bloat? I know they just laid off a bunch of people. They laid off the wrong people because
yes,
they laid off the wrong people.
That's the problem.
Maybe Victoria Alonso. They should have laid her.
So many of those people in those middle management. And look, I've worked for some big corporations. I've seen people where like, what is your actual job? Your job is setting up meetings. Yeah, Chrissy, you know what I'm talking about. Like you work at those jobs where it's just like, you're always asking for meetings. What are we actually accomplishing? I've got a list of stuff to do. I'm going to do the stuff on my list. You go have your meetings. Bye-bye. I'm out.
They have meetings just to have meetings.
Yeah.
It's like,
the middle person, the middle management is safe.
You should try. One time, Technicolor did that all the fucking time. I just stopped going to meetings. I just didn't go.
Right. Because you realize that most of the people,
because they don't matter.
People that set these meetings are justifying their position at the company.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with anything productive that creates something that makes the company money.
And you get that bloat because the middle management aren't the ones. The middle management aren't the ones that get the shit, right? So you lay off the low staff that did nothing really, the people in the background, the gaffers and stuff like that. You lay a bunch of those people off so you can go like, look, we made some space. And then if anything really bad happens, you lay off an executive like Bob Chapek and go like, look, we fixed the issue. We're coming in here. We're saving the day. Mm-hmm. But the problem is in the middle because nobody's looking at them. They're just sitting around, like you said, planning the meetings, getting extra coffee, getting donuts, and going, "Hey, how's everything going, guys?" And there's like a million of those people.
There was an entire.
Here's a note on Thor. I think you could try something else in that scene.
I have so many anecdotes, some that I can say, some that I can't, but I'll give you one stupid one. After COVID and they were going to bring everybody back to the offices at Disney, there was an entire meeting about what cereals to provide in the break room and the type of cereal, which devolved into a conversation of how privileged you were if you could eat sugar cereals like Fruit Loops and Cocoa Puffs as opposed to just no brand Cheerios. This was an actual someone called me after this, but I can't believe the meeting that I just was in, and it turned into a whole like status thing of like, well, those cereals, those are the rich people cereals. What are you talking? This is
rich people cereals.
These are stupid people.
All the while, like
one of the problems with all of this is like you fire the people that make the bad content, or like they made a flop, so you don't make them do another one. But they never fire the people who hired them in the first place. So you've got Jennifer Solke, who has done all of this stuff, wasted hundreds of millions of dollars, to the point where people came in and had to cancel shows that she's already renewed, and yet she's still there doing the same job she always has, hiring the same shows as always before. And nobody ever looks at the people who hire everybody else. And so it doesn't really matter who you fire, because they're just going to hire everyone back who has the same problem in the first place, because they don't know who to hire to do the job. They just hire people who's ideologically aligned with them.
Yep.
Bob.
Yep.
100%. 5%.
Continue this.
Of what it was pre-COVID. I think we have conditioned the audience to expect that these films will be on streaming platforms relatively quickly, and that the experience of accessing them and watching them in the home is better than it ever was. One, easier to access in terms of the technology. Two, just the visuals, better sets in your living room than before. And a bargain when you think about it. Streaming Disney Plus you can get for $7 a month. That's a lot cheaper than taking your whole family.
How is the streaming numbers going there?
Is now raised.
It's so funny, like to ignore like 1,000 other streaming services that it all fucking adds up, and then just the fact that aren't they all like inching up over the coming years, just being like, and now it's $8, $9, $10, $11. Same for
and you
YouTube,
get ads.
Except for ad-based. So ad-based tiers, they're keeping like relatively low, like that $7 or $7.99. That's ad-based tier, and because what they found out, they fucked up by going to streaming because they're too retarded to understand that one person watching could be worth hundreds of dollars per month if you market ads to them.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. As opposed to them giving you $7. So what they're doing, they're really pushing the pricing up a lot for the premium ones, the no ad ones, to try to price people out, not to cancel overall, but they want you to ship to the ad tier because they're going to get more money from you that way in the long run.
And you know what's kicking every streaming service's ass right now? YouTube.
Yep. That's why they're so mad.
And well, YouTube had that system long before they've even. How can they like? There's blueprints all over the fucking planet for how to do this, and they still manage to fuck it up for years.
And but aren't Disney Plus numbers just dying at the moment? Like they're just not doing well.
Well, until they run in the billions.
There's no reason to assume anything other than
Elon. I think they took a little dip over the last couple of days. Just saying. Sorry. Go on.
There's no reason to have assumed they would have done nothing but peak in COVID times. That was the highest they were probably ever going to get.
Yep.
For some reason, they treated that as just like that's the beginning, and it's only
going to be like this forever. I mean, that's your typical executive, your typical investor who doesn't know anything about this. And like we're talking about art and creativity, like if we're talking about sports or whatever, or any other technical thing, I wouldn't know shit about it. But we all like are nerds. Everybody in the chat, you're somewhat of an expert in something nerd that none of these motherfuckers know at all. And again, we've been telling you for years. That's why it's so crazy that Chris, I think you said this last night. It's weird to hear, or what is it, MauLer? It's weird to hear our talking points coming from other people that are
so there was a big post about how The Boys has become the very thing it swore to destroy, sort of thing. It's like, oh, you mean since season fucking 2? Like, what do you mean? How does it take these people so long to catch up? Like
the slow MauLer.
When after season 2 and The Boys like creator or whatever is like, well, clearly some people out there are too retarded to understand we're making fun of you, so we're gonna make it really clear in season 3.
Right. And then it was supposed to be a parody on superheroes and franchising, and then they just franchised it, which is Gen V and Boys Mexico. The Boys Mexico.
Spring break.
Let's talk about the boys.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. I had tacos with Paulie last night. It's pretty crazy how this has turned it. I mean, like Elon telling Bob to go fuck himself. I mean, that's one of our talking points. Let's be real. We've been doing that for years, right?
Yeah.
So
a
little bit.
You're welcome.
Also, I'd like to point out the no ball sit here between the two of them.
Yeah.
Pointing towards each other.
Look at his hand is a little dainty right there, and that's okay. It's okay to be gay, but I'm just saying.
Bob Iger's fucking water is driving me crazy because it's off. Like it doesn't make any sense with the way the rest of things set up.
CD. Oh, the dude who had a fucking crooked picture in his background for like a year.
Hold on. It's like, fix that glass of water. It's not fucking crooked. It's the perspective, you son of a bitch. I got a level. I'll show you right now.
Reality is perception, you bastard.
Next, Ryan. What we see is reality. It's true.
That's right.
But, yes. You know, just based on the conversation we've had on streaming, right, Gary? You inspired me last week when you were talking about physical media, because I have like this big collection of DVDs and Blu-rays and things like that. And I'm getting so pissed off coming in sometimes and finding my kids watching just random crap that they either found on Netflix or even YouTube, honestly. And I was like, all right, enough's enough. Kids, if you want to watch anything on streaming, you ask your mum and dad and we'll put it on for you, but you're not allowed to watch anything on streaming. Instead, here are all these DVDs. You can pick anything from these DVDs that you want, watch it any time of the day, and they were flipping thrilled. They're going through the DVDs and they're like, holy crap, we have this? We've got this movie? I want to watch this. And seriously, it was such an illustrative thing that you don't need this streaming crap. Like, I have so many like physical media that is a lifetime's worth of entertainment right there that they can pick and watch. And that's how I grew up. I would just watch Star Wars on repeat, right?
Yep.
And it's amazing how much control you can have over the media. Not only you watch and your kids watch, just by saying that's what you can pick from there. And suddenly like all the streaming access stuff, they have no power at all. And you can get rid of it. It's
and you don't have to worry.
You can make your own now too. You can make your own Netflix with Flex and Jellyfin.
I just got Married with Children for like $20. The entire series. It's on DVD. I don't care. I just bought the whole damn thing because they're getting rid of that shit.
Because I'm one of the several people here that would have lived through it too, right? You go from the era of, all right, some of my favorite movies and TV shows are on next week on TV. Okay. So I guess we'll look into the collection. And if you were young enough, your parents might have the collection you're allowed to pick from, and then the collection you're not allowed to pick from. Just high enough that you can't reach it. Unless you're like me, we hit 6 foot at like age 11. So
What?
yeah, whatever I want.
Which
is great. But then, you live through the transition into a world where we can get whatever we want, whenever we want, including about 1,000 films we've never heard of and no one's ever talked about on a big old service on demand. And it's like, isn't there a thing called choice paralysis or something?
Yes.
Yes. Like, I don't know what the fuck am I supposed to... It's like you have every movie possible to watch.
Option paralysis. Too many options.
Yeah, and that's what's happened to every like 20th century thing that we've fallen in love with. Publishing, music, TV, film. These are 20th century models now, and we didn't have full access to them. So what was, even when we watched something on our VHS player, it was an event. It's like, oh my God, I got Wrath of Khan. I can take it home.
You go to the movie store, you go to Blockbuster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now I think we got everything, and it cheapens the experience. It devalues it, and it's also Hollywood competing against itself. And the new shit is, I think we're the first generation. Generation X is the first generation to come out and say, you know what, our movies and our music were better, and your music and movies suck.
And it's true. Were you about to say you're the first generation to say that and be right?
And be right.
Everyone always
correct.
That's why every generation in history has said that.
Yeah. One of the reasons it devalues. One of the reasons it devalues it is because if they've got so many choices, they take the path of least resistance and just let the algorithm choose for them.
Yeah.
So they're not even picking movies, TV shows. Like I'm the same on YouTube. I just refresh the homepage and select what's there rather than actually going through subscriptions and everything because it's easier.
Dude, when you find out people subscribe to you because they were like, I searched, The Last Jedi rant review bad or something like that, and then it's like, fuck, I haven't done that in forever. Like, typed in a whole bunch of keywords and gotten YouTube results. It's usually just recommended at this point.
That's just part of human nature too. Is just the path of least resistance, what's easiest, and they know that. That's why they make the algorithms the way they do. And it's just you have to do the work to get out of that and create a physical media space for your kids to grow up through. Like right now in Christmas, we've taken all the Christmas movies and we've wrapped them. So throughout the month, they open them up and then watch a new Christmas movie. That's like something you physically have to do. And it's something that they go, oh, okay, that's what we do. We can get more movies every year and kind of add to it. You have to do the work to get to that point.
Yeah. What was that?
I gotta give credit to someone in the chat. They said I searched gay nerds and that's how I ended up here.
What were you gonna say, Chrissy?
Oh, I just checked. The last thing I searched on YouTube was TV for dogs, not birds.
Very specific.
Every time you put in TV for dogs, it's always birds.
Okay, let's hear from Bob.
People out of their homes into movie theaters. Some of it is just being part of basically the social wave. Certainly Barbie and Oppenheimer did that for 2 other studios. And so I think that's one thing. Second, in our particular case, and specifically about those films, some of those films, they were not as good, they were not as high in quality, not every one that you mentioned, as some of their predecessors.
Which ones, Bob?
Films.
Which one?
Which one?
Yeah, let's be specific here, Bob.
Wait till you hear
He mentioned specifically Marvels, and then it was Indiana Jones and Wish. Wish. Which one was bad?
I just want to have those interviews where they promote the movie. I just wanted to be there at the same time, being like, it's low quality, and just have Brie Larson and Nia DaCosta have to deal with that. Be like, well, no.
He tells us why they're low quality, and both of his answers are unfucking believable. But typical,
particularly in this environment.
Why do you think that was?
Well, The Marvels was shot during COVID. There wasn't as much supervision on the set, so to speak, where we have executives there.
More middle management. That's what we need, man.
Everyone was 6 feet apart. We weren't close enough to see what was happening.
We couldn't put a mask on to be on set. Yeah.
Oh man.
Why can't they make a nerd CEO of this shit? Like
it is the end of 2023. and he's saying that COVID is the reason the Marvels is doing bad at the box office.
Someone in the chat said the most perfect thing: COVID is the "my dog ate my homework" excuse.
Yep,
it is.
Yep.
Getting a little late for that, Bob, because you missed COVID. Remember, you missed, although you still had an office at Disney, you missed the entire thing. So you can blame everything on COVID for the next 10 fucking years. And then, worse yet, hey, we needed more executives, more middle management on a movie set. That's going to fix things.
And both of those things throw Chapek under the bus because anything he blames on COVID is under Chapek's rule in his decisions.
Indeed.
One of the primary things that has been ruining movies, he pinpoints, is we need more of that. That would have helped it. It's insane.
What are you supposed to do, though? Rewrite the thing for the writers.
I can't believe he blamed COVID.
The thing is, though, I'm surprised he agreed that,
we're
like,
still recovering from 9/11.
Yeah, man.
January 6th, that they couldn't do it.
Oh gosh,
things haven't been the same since we just
really worried
to
about
be honest.
the end of the world in 2012. It just kind of
Yes, we're recovering from Y2K still.
George Floyd. They couldn't do it because of George Floyd. Good Lord.
Like I said, I think it's a miracle we got him to fucking essentially say that the Marvels is shit. The fact that like you get any details that are realistic as to why it's shit would be like, I just would never have expected it. It'd be really cool though if you could like corner him and be like, oh, okay, so why was Black Widow so bad? Like, why did that do so badly? That wasn't filmed during
World
COVID.
War II was tough, MauLer. Okay.
Well, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and Eternals were filmed when Bob was there.
Yeah. But maybe he'd say, no, those were great. Those were really good. Those were top notch.
Oh man.
Sorry, Bob Iger. I got to be specific. Let's hear. Oh, there's another reason. There's another reason, guys. It's
being done day after day after day, and that was a result of, and mostly of COVID. But at the same time, we increased our output tremendously to feed the streaming platforms. Too much, by the way.
Again, Bob Chapek's fault.
Mistake.
That is like a
quality,
like an approvable statement.
Build the trough.
That's what I mean. He's got to be like fucking careful. He's not allowed to say anything too radical here. But he also tries to give something.
The streaming platform that was his legacy that he had been working on since, and I'm talking minimum 2014.
Yeah,
yeah. It was probably before that, but 2014. They were working on Disney Plus back then. Go on, Ryan. Sorry.
The reason that he has to be like actually give some like close to the truth answers is because we're past the point of this fake dog and pony show. Like we're past the point of when they say this about streaming or that about this movie that people believe them, because we've seen the mainstream call out Disney at this point. The mainstream has been forced to acknowledge the reality. Yeah, you can't hide the failure that is the Marvels.
Money talks.
Exactly. So that's why you're starting to hear these. Now it's still from his, like, he's trying to spin everything, right? But he's acknowledging what happened, but it's not his fault, and they're definitely working to fix those things. But you know, these are the reasons why this thing was such shit.
Yeah, because like nobody necessarily gets blamed if he says it's COVID and a lack of supervision and there's just so much stuff going on, you know. And it's like, so there's no individual creator that did a shitty job because they're a shitty creator, no?
Right. Yeah, because when you say they need oversight, you're saying they could have done a good job if they were just guided along the correct path.
Yeah, if you know, things are just a little better, that's all.
You know, if they'd had me as CEO there, things probably would have been fine, but I wasn't there, and I'm now here to help.
Yep.
Yeah, we're through our repair phase. That's what they've been calling this. It's our repair phase, and things are going to turn around any second now. Although things have gone God's
oh, the penny drop.
Who's got tails?
That's a real penny dropper.
My Tower of London coin.
Oh, there you go. So, yeah, it's gotten worse since Bob Iger came back. And Chapek's been gone now a year. Has it been a year? It's been a year.
A little over a year, yeah.
A little over a year. So he comes out, gives this interview, and he later on says, he goes, well, we also set the bar really high. So setting the bar really high means, you know, yeah, and you can't make a great movie every time, but you can make a good movie. But setting the bar really high makes this the audience, we trained them to expect too much from us because you're just dumb little puppies who get trained. You're trained now to go to streaming. You're trained. No, you took what was provided, and it's been shit. It's been shit. Like you contradict your own argument because, as Jeremy likes to say, and this is a fact of life. If something's fucking good, people will show up. Okay. I don't know how it is across the country. I was in a sold out theater on a Thursday for a foreign movie that you had to read.
Yeah.
That was fucking awesome. Godzilla -1 was amazing. And if you make something a spectacle, an event, people will go. And if it's good, Chris Nolan,
You get your small exceptions though, like Blade Runner, right? People didn't show up for that at first.
Nope.
Big
They didn't show up for
Lebowski.
the sequel either.
Yeah, I mean there are exceptions. I mean, obviously, I'd say the big tragedy of last year is Mission Impossible. And obviously that was a really good movie. A lot of competition. I thought Mission Impossible was fan-fucking-tastic.
Oh yeah, well, hang on. You can't push it on me, Shad. I know that you think that movie's crap as well.
Compared to the previous Mission
I will
Impossible,
not say anything.
It's not to the level of
No, it's not the Marvels.
No, it's not to the level of Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation.
Well, I
and
agree
maybe
with that.
But I still think it's really good.
Yeah, it's really good, really good. But regardless if the audience that saw it loved it. Like everybody that saw the movie loved. No one was walking away from that movie saying this was a disappointment. The people that watched it enjoyed it. Word of mouth was good. All the result, but it was so much competition in that time, and it just was the oddball. And I do think Sound of Freedom took a lot of its attention away from it. Which again, no one saw Sound of Freedom coming, and it felt like a lot of people got behind that movie. And the word of mouth started moving that movie. And so, so there are exceptions to the rule. But again, really though, Mission Impossible's problem was what a lot of Disney problems are right now. And the budget was insane. I don't remember how big it was. How big was the budget?
291.
Yeah,
291 million. Now, I do think they got a $70 million insurance payout because of some of those COVID overages and stuff like that. But it wasn't enough to offset what it
Even
made.
with those some rare exceptions, they find a life after the theater. Dread found a life after the theater. Blade Runner found a life after the theater.
Austin Powers, right?
Austin Powers did not do that well in the theater.
That's back when we had physical media.
Yeah, but that was the DVD
that was
sales.
home video.
Got it. It didn't get. It got a sequel off its DVD sales, not the film.
Yeah.
So and it sold like fucking crazy.
I kind of don't buy that explanation, Jeremy, because I feel like Mission Impossible would be a powerhouse if it was genuinely an awesome movie. I don't think it was. Like we watched all of them in a row before seeing Dead Reckoning Part 1, and like, man, Fallout, there's a reason that one did so well. That movie is written so fucking well. I don't even know how exactly, so I'm pretty sure they said they had the same process, right? They have their action scenes all ahead of time, and then they start to try and stitch the story together. But so many things get done in Fallout that are not done in all the other movies. They take it so much more seriously. It's so much about like Ethan Hunt as a person overall, and addressing a lot of the series itself. And then Henry Cavill's fucking brilliant in it.
What I would say though is even the opening for MI7 was weak. Like the momentum just wasn't there. Like even the opening fell short.
Yeah, I would say they should have made it two parts.
Yeah, so it's not like we saw a drop off from a huge opening weekend and people just weren't talking about it. It didn't start out strong. It didn't start as strong as we were thinking. And based on what you're saying, it's the opening weekend of the sequel is always predicated upon the previous film, which is why The Last Jedi did so damn good. You know what I mean? Because people love The Force Awakens. Obviously, we can talk about that now, but people love The Force Awakens. Spider-Man 3 did very well. Why? Because people love Spider-Man 2. Everybody loved Fallout, but MI7 did not come out of the gate strong at all. And I think that there was a lot of factors to that. And it just was a weird anomaly. So it's not like it had this massive opening and fell off. It never started strong.
That's kind of my point, though, is the Fallout, I think, attracted a lot more people than even normal for Mission Impossible because of how fucking good it was. I remember the word of mouth for that as well. The similar examples would have been for recent times, like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, that had like really good word of mouth. Sisu had really good word of mouth. There's a lot of different ones. Dead Reckoning, I felt like that fell off after maybe 2 weeks. I didn't hear people mention it ever again.
Barbie and Oppenheimer came out the next week.
Yeah, but that doesn't. You don't have word of mouth doesn't cancel out another word of mouth. That's not how that works. If you have two amazing films, three amazing films, four amazing films,
I think part one and the title hurt it a lot.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, that was a bad move to the point where they're not even going to call the second one part 2 anymore.
Right, right.
I'm just getting sick of part 1, part 2 movies. I don't want to see freaking
too.
half of the film. And that's what I got really pissed off with Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse, yeah.
It was a bait and switch, and then it ended, and they didn't even do it elegantly, where they could have had some type of climax at the end. They just that's the.
Well, and remember, they were floating it out there that we were going to get part 2 like soon. Relatively soon, like you would get it within 6 months. Now that ain't happening now. It's gonna be a couple of years.
To Jeremy's point, is I actually I'm sick of the part 1, so I did not go and watch Dead Reckoning because I don't want to watch half a film. I was going to wait until they're both out, and then I'd watch them together. But then, if there was good word of mouth, I might have all right, if it's going to be that good, I'll watch a part 1. But that wasn't there either, and so I think that double compounded the effect.
The ultimate problem with the part 1, part 2 thing, where they just abruptly stop, is that they don't have a fully told story, right? Empire Strikes Back, that's a part 1, or that's a part 2 of 3, right? It's definitely going to go somewhere, but it has a fully fledged 1, 2, 3 beginning, middle, and end story that you feel satisfied in, and you go, oh, I want to see the next part. The problem is like some of these movies that just end. It's like, this is not the end. Like, give me a part 2. Give me a part 1 that tells a story.
Yeah, you're already telling the audience that, hey, this isn't the most important part of the story. So,
right?
You know what I mean? So,
then,
remind me this.
We want a part 1, and we haven't even filmed part 2 yet.
Yeah, like Dune is one of my favorite cinematic experiences in a long time. Wasn't that marketed as part 1 as well?
A little bit.
No.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't until you got to the end of the movie that I think it said.
It was
the beginning of
Dune part 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was not labeled that.
Okay.
I'm not totally against as long as we get the second part. But I hate to go into a movie and be like, okay, well, there's part 1. Will we get the next one? I don't know.
Dune is a great example.
Absolutely, it's like bad timing exists. Like making a TV series in the early 2000s and the mid 2000s, bad timing if it was good, because it was going to get canceled no matter what. And now shit doesn't get we get 1 season of Firefly, Farscape gets canceled, Counterpart gets canceled, but then we get 5 seasons of Star Trek Discovery. You know, the timing definitely is a factor.
Hey, speaking of numbers, are we at a record for Friday Night Tyson?
We are.
Yeah.
We are, in fact.
Wow. That is
We're talking about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning.
That is.
Keeping it with the trend.
Dune. Right? Dune Part 1. That felt like an actual full film, though. It had a climactic kind of section with it, with Jason Momoa kicking ass, and then there was a wind down section with the final fight, and then close, and it felt more completed, and I was satisfied as a viewer. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, they're ramping it up, and then blue ball you and cut you off, and you're
cut
like,
you off right there. I hated that.
I love you, but I distinctly remember a lot of people saying that Dune just stopped, and it felt like it just stopped.
That criticism was 100% there for it. But
they stopped at the wrong spot. That's what pissed me off about it. The better spot would be there's a naming ceremony. He's accepted into the tribe, and he's given a name by the Fremen. That would have been a really good place for like an intermission. Would have been perfect. So I don't like the way that they ended it.
The movie would have to be a fucking hour longer if that was the case, though, Chris, because like you'd have to establish like that the city, like you have to do all of that shit.
Right.
I think this was the only. I think this is probably the best place they could have stopped it, but it did feel very abrupt. It's like you just overcome this challenge. You walk out in the desert, you see a fucking dude riding a sandworm. They're like, more to come. Boom.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this: as much as I loved it, I do need part 2 to finish it, to finish up for me to still love that movie, because I can really see my love for part 1 being affected if part 2 doesn't pay it off.
Right.
Exactly.
So,
What is considered too long to wait for a part 2?
I don't think there is. I mean, everybody says no one was going to go see Avatar when it came out because of how long it. You know. So,
but Jeremy, did anyone actually see it? Who knows?
Has anybody discussed it since it came out? I'm just curious because
no one discussed the first one.
They're not movies that we discuss. Okay, they just
really is such an anomaly.
Like looking at an aquarium,
very strange.
You know, you just look at an aquarium and you leave.
Don't always think about it.
Because it's such
like
like
it goes.
For both of those, they are very simple stories, you know, and like there's nothing inherently wrong with that, and I think it appeals to a wide variety of people. but it's not something that's layered with a ton of like depth or people debating about what this means or what that means. So I don't know if like the movie itself lends itself to a lot of discussion once you get past
just lends itself to a lot
of the stories and how amazing it looks. Whatever.
I reckon you should. I reckon you should go watch Little Platoon's review of The Way of Water.
Oh God,
he has a few things to discuss.
It's beautiful. It is so good.
Right. I love it.
What Denis Villeneuve has said is that it's intended that both movies will be seen together. So it's supposed to be one movie. He just picked apart. I mean, that's just. I mean, I think the book is unfilmable. I think it should actually be a series like Game of Thrones. It should just be, 2 seasons and you tell the first book basically. But
and the way the book is laid out, the start of every chapter, you're at like a complete different point in history, reading like a journal entry from and you don't even understand what the fuck is going on for like the first third of the book when it comes to basically the prologue to every chapter. So it is it's a dense read, and it's the fact that might get something really awesome out of it is pretty incredible.
So quickly to follow up to Bob, because it goes directly into, I think that gives us a lot of context for what Elon did, where he gave us the greatest moment on the internet, at least in the last 5-10 years, maybe. It's been around a long time. Okay. I remember a time before the internet. Okay. That's how freaking old I am.
You and me both, Gary.
That's right.
Just etches on rocks. Handprints on this inside of a cave wall.
Yep. These
Fire was
runes,
discovered.
we communicated with runes and stuff.
Megaliths.
Megaliths, yeah. So Garrett, do you have the?
Oh yeah, I thought you were going to set it up.
Yeah.
Oh. I think I just did.
Just so we're clear, record show, we are very professional around here. So if you guys are tuning in, we know what the fuck we're doing. We absolutely do.
Sure we do.
Have we cracked the 19,000? Because we are so close.
Dude, we're like right there.
4 away.
And we lost 100 as soon as you said that one.
Maybe the way to do it is to talk more about Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. That's
people are excited about that.
I'll go put on a different top. I'll do whatever I need to do.
To me.
Chat, share it out. We want to get to 19,000.
Yeah, we missed by 4. We were close.
Yeah. And again, thank you all for tuning in remembrance for our dear friend Az. We really appreciate it. So thanks.
This episode's dedicated to him.
As dies record stream.
All right, here we go.
Perception that was part of a apology tour, if you will. That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself.
Out so many times.
Go fuck yourself.
That was him doing it in sign language in case there's deaf.
Go fuck
yourself. Fuck yourself.
By the way, I don't know. He's got the Chad leg cross instead of the girl leg.
That's true.
Yes,
Body language expert.
As we hit 19,000, right when Elon said, "Go fuck yourself,"
Go fuck yourself.
Perfect timing, legendary timing, right there. Let's go!
Yeah.
Let's fucking go!
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Please continue. I want to hear him say, "Hey, Bob."
Hey, Bob. Sure. That's how I feel.
Look, that guy's entire struggle session has been destroyed. Like, he'd set it all up. He was leading him down a path. He's like, I don't know.
But honestly, I can see this guy being like, remember the John Campea moment where he slams his headphones? He's like, "Fuck!" Like that's this guy off camera, but on camera, he's like, "Oh my god, an F word is being spoken. I've got to be very careful." Like I could totally see that right now. He has no idea what to do with Elon.
This is my favorite screenshot I got from the interview. Just enjoy that. You can take that for your thumbnails.
Lisa girl's in a different time zone with how quickly she started laughing at that.
I was looking up at the TV and I could see why Gary only gets delayed because now it's up.
Yeah.
Screenshot.
It is so interesting to see because a lot of people don't realize, like, when we started talking about a lot of this years ago, it was not, there weren't a lot of people talking about calling Disney out, calling the identity politics out, calling out these executives. And you had so much resistance from the old guard that, you know, basically would kiss up to the corporations to get the access. And now seeing where we are and seeing how the failure of Disney and Marvel and Star Wars and how it's all playing out, the fact that Elon Musk has purchased Twitter, which again, you can have whatever opinions you want on Elon Musk. I've shared mine. He is a person that will go down in history, and he will be remembered. He's one of the most important human beings that living today, and will go on to be someone remembered forever. And his purchase of Twitter will go down as one of the most important moments of our lifetimes in terms of the social media era and conversations and things like that, because it will change the course of how the internet works. And I do think that there is something strategic about what he's saying. This is not a stupid person. He is not dumb by any stretch. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like Elon that try to say he's dumb. That is the most insane thing I've ever heard. He is a very, very smart guy. And there is some strategy to what he's doing. And it will be interesting to see how it plays out from this advertiser perspective. But he knows he's going to be hurting them. And he has hurt them right now. And we'll see how it all plays out.
I have his comments right here about that specific thing about the boycott.
Actually, what this advertising boycott is going to do, it's going to kill the company.
I love it, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, no.
He's
That
so
those
clever.
advertisers killed the company, and we will document it in great detail.
That's the important part.
Oh, that's very important.
The world will know.
Because the other guy is completely confused. He's like, yeah, but don't you care about the opinion of all these people? Because that's who he respects. And
Yes. Right.
Elon just turns around and goes, no, it's the judge. The judge is the audience.
Yes.
And it isn't it. They
It's
have
the
never been
users.
faced with somebody who actually doesn't care about them before. They don't know how to handle when it's just like, your opinions mean nothing to me. I don't care how much money you've got because I've got more.
Interviewer tried to get him in that same kind of position several times. Like, don't you worry about trust and all this stuff. And he just kept going back to, it doesn't matter if they trust me. It doesn't matter if they like me. I don't care if I'm hated. If I make a good product, they will buy that product because it's a better product than the other people that put out things.
Yep.
So if I make a better truck, if I make a better car, it doesn't matter if people whine about it on the internet. They will go get it because it is the better product.
Oh, Patrick Bet David talked about this months and months ago, right when Elon purchased Twitter. And he basically said, like, Elon Musk is the #1 customer service representative in the world right now. In terms of, like, this man is the richest man in the world. And he is on Twitter responding to criticisms, responding to the paying customer in real time. Where else can you find someone of that stature doing what he's doing? And it's a great way to look at it. And Patrick Bet David, who also is awesome, by the way, but I watch him all the time, but he was talking about what Elon is going to do with Twitter. I know it's called X, and I don't intentionally not call it X. I call it Twitter because it's Twitter to me. But what he's doing with this platform and what he plans to do with this platform in the future, I think he's got big plans, and he's intentionally, like, he knows who, like, I heard Mark Cuban was on Logan Paul's podcast crying about Elon Musk and crying about who he interacts with now and how he's signal boosting these people and all of this stuff. And it's like, Elon knows what he's doing. He's got a long game planned out here, and this is just part of it, what he's doing right here.
This interview, like, before this interview, I was very much like, I don't hate Elon Musk. I didn't have a huge opinion on him. I just thought maybe if you were going to set up a supervillain, wouldn't it be great if it was the guy that is trying to do all these things, like get to Mars, create AI, create cars that are driving themselves, all these things. So, like, he could possibly be a villain.
In our brains to control
computer
us.
chips, exactly, right? So there's some nefarious things that he is doing, but I will say he's either a really great actor or he's very optimistic and altruistic with the things that he does and why he does them.
What the reason they're reaching
and it
people
comes to light into this.
Yeah, I've always liked Elon. I've worked for Elon. I've always liked him. The reason I've always liked him is the same reason people like Trump, and people just can't get past the TDS. And if the other side ever really wanted to try to understand why people like Trump and why people like Elon, it's really fucking simple. They don't think they're being bullshitted. They know Trump's a narcissist and an ego fucking maniac. They don't give a shit. They know he's an honest one. They know he's like, this guy is fucking honest. He might not be right about everything, and you know what? That's good. That's authenticity. We now need leaders, CEOs, leaders of company. This new era is going to need people who are going to tell another CEO to go fuck themselves. Like I said on Twitter, normalize this shit. That's how you'll win. That's how we'll win, because you'll get a CEO someday who goes, you know what? We fucked up. Sorry. We totally fucked up. So we'll fix it.
And he says that. He says it's okay. It's okay to fail.
It's okay to fail, but you have these shit bags like fucking Bob Iger coming out who are just an empty suit who could not show any humanity at all. None.
You know, though, if Twitter does go under because of this boycott, right, I reckon he's still going to be able to use that for a massive win, because when he says he's going to document it all, there's been a concerted effort for people to try and take down Twitter ever since he bought it. And if you think he can't go after people for like torturous interference and sue them for the lost value of Twitter, right, and then expose the mainstream media for the fact that they do collude to try and take down things that don't, spread their narrative, he could really expose some massive level things right here.
And that's just the legal side. Like, he's doing it very publicly too. That's what he said. The world will see it. So it will fail. It will fail if they do this. It will fail, but the world will see it, and we'll let the world decide.
Well, that was the interesting.
He knows. Oh, go ahead, Disparu.
That was the interesting thing about this. The guy interviewing him, he called it an apology tour, and Elon was immediately like, "No, this isn't an apology tour. You can all go fuck yourself." They have entirely different ideas about what this meeting is.
He did apologize 3 times for the same thing, though.
That's not so. What he was the apology tour reference is like when he went to Israel a couple days ago and like did all that stuff. That's what they were referring to for that specifically, not necessarily.
And he didn't. But I think he was also
you're right,
like he didn't need to apologize for shit because it was misrepresented. If you read all of his tweets when they were trying to push him as some kind of anti-Semite, which is fucking retarded.
Which he clarifies.
And that's what people are tired of, right? People are tired of the authenticity when we want our leaders to be human. And and they're not right now. Right now, we have these party heads who are just like fucking autons, and they will never admit they make a mistake, and they'd rather bury the fucking country than admit they have made a mistake.
Yeah. Well, here's what my theory is on what I think Elon is actually doing. If you go back to the comments that Mark Cuban was crying about Elon Musk, signal boosting, conspiracy theorist, and all that shit, but like, I think Elon Musk is forcing, and I'm not going to say the term right wing, I'm going to say non-leftists.
Yes.
I think he is forcing non-leftists to actually put their money where their mouth is. He's forcing them to do it. There's money out there. If you are the wokeness, the people that are not woke, there are so many people out there. Right now, you've got Daily Wire, you've got Andrew Tate, you've got Benny Johnson, you've got Tim Cash, you've got all these people committing all of this money towards Twitter, towards X. And there is so much more money out there from non-leftists, and he is forcing them to have to go, hey, if we really want to support this platform, we can't just sit here and talk about it anymore. We have to put our fucking money where our mouth is. And I think that is one of the things that he is forcing them to do, that instead of talking about it, put it out there, support it, and show all of these advertisers, these woke advertisers, we don't need you, and we can create our own ecosystem. That is what he's doing, I think. And it's working so far. It's going to motivate more people to do it.
That is glorious.
If they do this,
thought about getting a yellow check mark for like a month.
But Tim commented on this. He said, like, it's not charity, it's not a donation, it's advertisement. So he will make money back on his own advertisement, which means that Disney and everyone else giving up on that, they're actually harming their own company. It's the most stupid thing that you can do just to try and virtue signal.
Bob Iger was asked about it, and he goes, I don't want to talk about that specifically. I don't want to talk about Twitter specifically.
Yeah.
Except we're going to leverage. No, he said we're going to leverage Twitter. I believe that's the term.
Yeah.
With ABC News and stuff, but we're not going to.
Here, let me find it.
Yeah, well, let's go back to what Bob said about Twitter, and this is Elon responding. Elon responded to what Bob said about that, which was, it's not just Disney either. It's Warner, it's Sony, Apple. All fucking incredibly woke companies. Remember Apple, even what Patrick, I always forget his last name, Jeremy.
Patrick Bet David.
Yeah. He and Jeremy Boring seemed to be pretty convinced that Apple was going to buy Disney. Like they're just ready. Apple is your worst nightmare buying Disney. Disney is still, believe it or not, Disney is way more accountable now than they would be over at Apple, where they would be a fucking woke disaster.
Oh, I hope Apple buys Disney.
I just think that's such a they have a lot of money, but it's completely not in their market. Apple is like a tech company. They're getting in the streaming stuff. They're getting the entertainment stuff. The idea that they would buy the biggest theme park business in the world is I don't really understand it.
So what if they just bought their content?
Well, then you'd have to work out some very, very specific,
it'd be very complicated
contracts for licensing agreements.
They bought Fox. They bought Fox and separated the news division. It's not. I agree with you, Ryan. I don't think the government. I don't even think this government would let it happen.
But it's different with the theme parks because now the only reason the theme parks matter. Well, one of the reasons the theme parks matter so much is because of the properties that are there that are derived from the entertainment. So if you didn't have new stuff coming in so you could replace it, new IPs to replace things every once in a while, but also still maintain access to be able to use those IPs, that becomes a massive problem.
Well, I think what a massive problem is Disney is a damaged brand right now. Like it is starting to affect all of it. And I don't think it's going to get any better. Bob Iger, in his interview, put all their woke shit is him trying to put positive messages in the world. So, teaching your kids, sexualizing your kids in kindergarten is a positive message. He called it the "Don't Say Gay" bill. That tells you what a lying piece of shit he is.
Well, and again, I'm sure we're talking about Elon actually specifically talks about people that do that, the people that claim that they're doing good, and again, it's what we've called virtue signaling. It's what we've called virtue signaling for years, and that's what he's talking about. Those that preach the loudest have the most to hide. That's what this line is all about, right here.
We're talking about power and influence, and
I'm saying what I care about is the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. Yeah. And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. Fuck them. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Friggin' Chad.
Yes. Go
Legend.
Legend.
Yep. And I think it's clear that he's talking about Bob Iger. He called him by name. And then called back right here, said, fuck you. He's clearly talking about Disney and all of the people that are in this boycott.
Yeah, but that's the whole woke movement. The whole woke movement is built on virtue signaling. Look how noble and great I am, while they're actively being racist to the extreme, right? And full on bigoted. And it's amazing. And so...
It is literally the famous quote of "You would much rather face a tyrant because at least at some point they will be satisfied and stopped. But somebody who does evil but thinks it's good will never stop because they think it's in your best interest." Like it is far worse what we're going through now than just somebody who was pure out and out evil and enjoyed it.
We're not going to tell you what to think. We're going to show you how.
Yeah. I think that COVID was kind of the breaking point for a lot of this stuff, the overreach of the left and how they have tried to control everything. And I think that's why you finally seen so much rejection. And if you remember, this is when Elon really started to be more outspoken when he called out COVID. Does anybody remember that? When he tweeted out about COVID, that's when Elon's kind of path to where he is now, he started really elevating and really starting to have the language he's been having the last few years around that time. That's when a lot of it started. And so I think that we've reached a breaking point from that perspective, and the pendulum is slowly starting to swing back. But at some point in time, you're going to just see it bust through and we could be 2024 is going to be a shit show, an absolute shit show. We already know that. Yeah. But yeah, I think we're at that point. We're at that point.
Yes, we are. What do we want to show next, Garrett?
Your fucking show.
Let's Elon does comment on what Twitter was for the last campaign.
Let me ask you this, because I think part of this, by the way, there's some people who said, look, owning X to begin with has just created problems, that you've created so many amazing things that are changing our world. And I know you want to make X this fabulous town square free speech platform.
Oh, he said flagless.
Unto itself, that's a distraction.
I heard the other one too.
This is the conversation we're having. We're not focused, or we're not talking at least yet, and we will. On Tesla, you have your Cybertruck deliveries tomorrow and everything else that you're doing. But
yes, it will be the biggest product launch of anything by far on Earth this year.
Is there any part of you, though, that just says, you know what? I just shouldn't have done this, or maybe I should sell it, or give it away, or do something else. Because
he's trying to convince him.
Yeah.
You regret the thing you don't regret.
Why does Eye look like a lizard eye? I'm just gonna point that out.
But also,
you got a lizard eye.
So this is kind of what a lot of us said when he bought it. In a way, it's like this is a guy who's running these massive companies, who's doing like all this wild shit, and he bought this social media platform for way more money than it was fucking worth. And since that point in time, it has only like caused him massive fucking headaches. And now people, involved with him, people at, Tesla and people with SpaceX, they probably don't like some of the times that Elon's in the headlines for this or that simply because of what he's doing with Twitter. So I kind of understand what the guys. I mean, it's a stupid way to fucking ask.
I think his long-term his plan is Twitter was a massive puppet for the establishment, for the government, holding people's free speech down. And I think it's in his best interest, in all of the other vectors that he's doing business, to have free speech for everybody. Mm-hmm. Right? To develop the technologies that he's doing, it's better to have people that can do that can't stifle creativity. So I think his long-term plan is to create a space for that.
The first time something was disruptive to the disruptors. Okay, the disruptors came in and disrupted technology. That's the word they fucking use. They have a conference for it in San Francisco, and somebody disrupted them. And it was the first time somebody flipped their shit over, and it's fucking great. I think it's punk rock. I don't fucking agree with everything Elon says. I don't agree with everything anyone says. I don't need that. I need more of this. And America needs more of this. We need more of these corporations actually competing against each other instead of being lockstep and colluding. So they're not, silencing us on YouTube. Right, YouTube, motherfuckers who just got caught.
Yeah, there is a bigger element to it where he said that essentially he wants it to be WeChat. So it is the everything app, as he keeps calling it. So it'll be your payment process. You'll book taxes from it. You'll take takeaways.
I won't take part in that. But
I think with a platform like that, exactly, with a platform like that, you need free speech, because otherwise you literally have centralized control of everything.
Right. The interviewer,
you said something mean to a trans person on Twitter, we just locked your bank account.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
that's what's scary about it.
That got really crazy at one point.
The interviewer, he slipped in something really slimy that we kind of, I don't want us to brush over, because when he was saying, you're trying to build X and you're trying to make it into a free speech platform. Then he went on to say, but that's created all these distractions, and he's trying to brush off free speech as just a distraction. And is actually basically saying, wasn't it better when there wasn't free speech and the narrative was just being pushed? But now with the free speech and people actually saying the truth, that's just a distraction. I'm like, whoa, that is slimy as hell. But he tried to slip that in.
It's just fighting for free
some
speech.
of the things that you do and say on that platform to create these issues.
Yeah. Of all the posts I've done on the platform, I think there might be 30,000 or something like that.
Right.
Once in a while, I will say something foolish. And I have. And I would certainly put that comment that you've said the actual truth among perhaps one of the most foolish, if not the most foolish thing I've ever done on the platform. And I did do my best to clarify afterwards that, I certainly do not mean anything anti-Semitic in that. The nature of the criticism was simply that the Jewish people have been persecuted for thousands of years. There is a natural affinity, therefore, for persecuted groups. This has led to the funding of organizations that essentially promote any persecuted group or any group with the perception of persecution. This includes radical Islamic groups. Everyone here has seen the massive demonstrations for Hamas in every major city in the West. That should be jarring. Well, a number of those organizations received funding from prominent people in the Jewish community. They didn't expect that to happen. But if you generically, without condition, sort of fund, if you fund persecuted groups, in general, some of those persecuted groups, unfortunately, want your annihilation. And what I meant by that, when I subsequently clarified, is that it's unwise to fund organizations that support groups that want your annihilation.
Yeah, kind of unwise.
Yeah.
Antifa. I don't. I detect no lies here. It's when you get into nuance that the dishonest fucking media, and we deal with this with entertainment all the time. They start being disingenuous. They start arguing semantics. They start parsing fucking words, and you can't have these nuanced discussions because they're dishonest and they care more about the narrative than authenticity because they're the ones in power. They don't want to lose it. That's it.
Yeah, I wish he wouldn't even have explained any of that.
He didn't have to.
So yeah, because that's giving them what they want is more explanation on it. It's like, hey, I've said some things that I regret, like any human being on the planet. It all happens. Live and learn.
I said, let's talk about it.
Yeah. I'm so tired of this idea of everybody has to be fucking perfect. Have you made some mistakes? Yes, I've made some mistakes in life. Have you? Has anyone in this room? Okay, yeah, move on. You live and learn. What's the next question? You don't need to give them anything else because they're looking for you to grovel and apologize and say, I should have been better. Fuck being better. Fuck being better. Whatever. You just fuck up in life and you learn from it.
Yeah.
Fuck all this nonsense. Yeah, I'm so tired of that fake bullshit. It's ridiculous.
The reason they want you to do it is because the moment you apologize, you admit guilt, and then no one can defend you. Because anyone who came to his idea now, they'll be like, well, he admitted guilt, he said he was wrong to say it, and so said he shouldn't have said it. And so you're like, well, you're on your own now. And so it separates you from the herd, and then they can attack you. Yeah. It's like previously when he's like, I won't be blackmailed with money. The thing I kept seeing on Twitter was, oh, he's not actually being blackmailed. That's not the definition of blackmail. So the longer explanation you give, the more they will just pick at something and distract away from the actual conversation.
Yeah, and there's a difference between there's a difference between being better according to someone else's standards that they think you need to be this way to be approved by them, to actually being legitimately better. Just like what Elon said, there's all these people posturing to do good when they're actually doing evil.
It's a show. It's a fucking show. Why? I mean, we've said this a million times and everybody knows this. Maybe some people don't. The reason these companies do DEI or DIE inclusion, have these fucking diversity officers is so you won't notice all the dealings they have with communist China, thinking concentration camps, having slaves make fucking shoes, having slaves make your phone, having slaves mine cobalt. That's why. Because they're doing evil.
Yeah. And I don't care if people do whatever. What bothers me is, are you preaching and trying to talk down to people to present yourself as the moral superiority, which is what Hollywood has done for a long time. They do the reward shows. They want to get up on stage and they want to act like they are superior to every other person. It's like, no, you're not. And the more you do that, the more you show that you've got a lot to hide. And that's what I think has really driven so many people away from the entertainment side of things with Hollywood people, is their ability to continue to think that they are better than you. When in reality, you're not. You're not.
It's like Hollywood overall is a damaged brand right now. Like the entire town, the entire industry, damaged brand.
Yep, 100%.
We've got to make sure that that's constitutional, because where they came from, if they said something, they'd be put in prison, or there'd be, something bad would happen to them. So. And freedom of speech, you have to say, when is it relevant? It's only relevant when someone you don't like can say something you don't like, or it has no meaning.
Alex Jones. Alex Jones. Sorry, I didn't. Got a little cough right
Alex
there.
Jones.
So Alex Jones, Elon. Just want to throw that out there for you, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Somebody you don't like saying something you don't like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Oh shit! Don't do that. The sound went alarm. I'm not going to.
It's very sensitive.
It's very sensitive to that. It's my road equipment. Sorry. If I
And
just
again, Elon's a classic example of like someone that like I have pretty big disagreements with him on a lot of different topics, but he is such an overall net positive for everything else he brings to the table, and that's really what it comes down to, and that's kind of life in general. Like I'm tired of the you like this person, you must agree with everything they say.
Yep.
No, that is not reality. That is not based on reality. That is social media bullshit. There's not a human being on the planet that any single person agrees with everything they say. That's just not reality. So stop apologizing or stop giving perspective on, I don't agree with everything. So we don't agree with anything anyone says. But Elon, overall, while I do have some pretty big disagreements that I've talked about on my personal channel, a lot with him on politics and other things, he is a net positive, and he's done a lot to move us forward.
Yeah, he's doing some very good things. Very good.
Absolutely.
And also, when anyone says anything, it's never about the person. It's about what they're saying. Is what they're saying correct? If yes, then you can value what they're saying, regardless of anything else, any other variable. It doesn't matter why they're saying it. So you just treat things on an individual basis about whether is what they're saying true and correct at that time.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like if you have somebody in the entertainment industry that calls out something like nefarious or calls out something gross or calls out a part of this, like why this part of the industry is fucked up, and then you talk about that and someone's like, well, yeah, but they still support BLM, which like has nothing to do with it. Well, it's like, okay, yeah, that's true. But that doesn't mean that what she just pointed out or what she said in that moment wasn't an accurate statement. It isn't worth saying, yeah, you're right about that. People get very much into this fucking, binary.
Some people get angry that you don't know that somebody said something 3 years ago about an entirely separate topic. I'm like, my memory's awful.
Is that relevant now? It depends on what the topic is, but honestly, if it's just Fran Drescher was actually saying some pretty base stuff about COVID. She's a fucking moron.
Yeah. Natalie Portman came out a couple days ago and was basically like, I don't think that children should work in Hollywood. She says the fact that I came out unharmed is like sheer luck. My parents were super overprotective and I was very lucky that I didn't get hurt when I was a child in Hollywood. So regardless of whatever she said about all male directors being nominated at the Oscars or whatever she said like for Black Lives Matter, defund the police, it doesn't mean that that's not like a super relevant point to talk about.
Absolutely.
Somebody that went through it is calling out the degeneracy and the evil that's going on there.
If your mind, it's almost like a brain rot, a political brain rot, where you can't hear anybody else's opinion, even if they have an opinion that's correct. So it's like we need to strive to have more acceptance for that kind of if somebody says something that's true, that has truth in it, it's okay to say like, yeah, I agree with that. I don't agree with some other things, but that's okay.
Also, it's way better to disagree with someone in some way, shape, or form in some things than agreeing 100%. Tell the audience a lot. Like, I hope you don't agree with me 100%. That would suck. Because
that would suck.
It's not interesting. That's the only way. That's the only way you learn anything is to listen to people that you don't agree with, and consider their ideas, and actually helps you strengthen your own argument. So, not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. You can even be married to somebody like that. My wife just agrees with like 10% of what I say.
That's almost one of the most important things.
Lucky to have that.
To somebody.
I know. Vegemite being one of those things, guys.
Thank you for reminding me of that betrayal. By the way, my pineapple pizza was delicious.
That pizza is so good.
It's been a record show. It's been a record show. It's been a record show.
Yeah, dude.
What's the big change of this episode? I can't remember. What's the
yeah, something feels a little different, doesn't it?
Listen. Screaming or something.
I think Ash should die every week.
100%. 100%. 100%.
Oh, no.
Hey, just to wrap up the Elon Musk bit, I just wanted to play it one more time. Just one more time.
Yeah.
That was part of
it's good
apology tour, if you will. That this had been said online.
Sorry.
There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger
I hope
today.
they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But
yourself.
Is that the interview is so stumped? I love it.
What's in his water glass?
That face.
Elon.
So great, man. It's so great. And like one thing is cool about because Elon, he does take time to answer questions sometimes, and it's because he's thinking of the best way to say it, and it usually still ends up being controversial as hell, which I love. Like he takes time. He's like, I need to probably answer this. I need to be careful. Oh, go fuck yourself. Yeah, that's
so you can see him calculating. This is the correct answer.
Yeah.
Fuck yourself.
I saw someone the other day. So this is a couple weeks ago. Dana White was on with
the same thing
with Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
And he said the same thing. He said an advertiser, because he on his personal social media uploaded a video for Trump. He said a big advertiser for the UFC called him and said, "Hey, you need to take that down. Go fuck yourself." That was his literal response. He's like, "Go fuck yourself. I'm not going to take it down. And I'm tired of this." Dana White, dude, I'm telling you, we cover sports, Geeks and Gamers. We have Sports Wars. Ryan does a great job over there. And watching how sports has fallen apart in the last several years, whether it's NASCAR, the NFL, NBA, oh my goodness. If we had a leader like Dana White involved in these leagues, it would be drastically different. Leadership matters, and people that are willing to not bend the knee to the mob, it matters. And you've got people like Elon, you've got people like Dana White. You obviously, Trump's out there. There's a lot of people that are standing up against this. I love what the Daily Wire's doing right now with a lot of their stuff. I've had massive disagreements with them, but they are overall a net positive. Again, that's the bigger picture. It's not about individual topics or individual opinions. It's about the overarching. It's a net positive what Daily Wire's doing massively. So I'm loving
that premieres in a little bit, right?
3 hours.
Night.
Yeah.
Danny Ballers? Is that what we're talking about?
Tyler Fisher's in it.
Ballers. I mean, what's there to talk about? I haven't seen it yet. The trailer was funny, but I hope the trailer isn't the only thing funny. Okay. But I think, Ryan, you said it, you were 100% right. This is a movie that would have been made 15 years ago. It absolutely would have been made.
Well, isn't it called Juwanna Man? Isn't that the movie?
Yeah.
Juwanna Man, White Chicks. The Ringer reminds me a little bit of this. Like when you pretend to be retarded and shit.
Yeah, it reminds me of something like Will Ferrell would have been in.
Dude, I was watching.
There's really not much difference between pretending to be a woman and pretending to be
description
retarded.
of that was funny. When you pretend to be retarded and shit.
I was watching.
Ryan's follow-up joke was better. No one hit it, but that's fine now. I hit it.
Say it again.
My I said there's really not much of a difference between pretending to be a woman and pretending to be retarded anyway. So,
There you go.
Dude, I was watching a clip from like The Rock and John Cena cutting a promo for WrestleMania, and Rock called Cena. He was talking about Cena. No, it was pretty close though. He said it was basically a trans person, but it was like in a little more derogatory way.
Gamer
And he
word
called
way.
it a very gamer word way. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. Why? Like the fact that this is what we were used to do, and nobody even thought about it. And now, like today, if Rock said what he said in that promo, now
Should be an apology to her.
mega canceled.
Yeah.
Mega canceled.
well, remember
dude.
the Chinese like ching
No.
chong ding bong or whatever he did?
Yes, it was so
Yeah.
It's like
good.
actually a girl when she's drunk.
Ching chong, ding dong.
He's like, I just caught a fucking stray. What the fuck?
That's how you guys sound too.
I'm not even saying it.
Do we want to watch the? Am I going to be able to? Want to watch the Lady Ballers trailer? Can we
We
show
gotta
it?
get, well, we don't have too much longer in the show. We've gone 2 hours
don't.
already.
That's true.
We still need to talk about
We have to talk
Godzilla.
about
Gotta
Godzilla.
talk about Godzilla,
Right.
dude.
Talk about Godzilla.
So, Lady Ballers, go watch the trailer. It's out there.
Yes, you want to. We got a reaction over on Geeks and Gamers. Me and Ryan's got one.
Yeah, go watch the reaction.
So, yep.
Um,
It is really good. The
Godzilla
trailer.
-1. Holy shit! I watched it last night in a packed theater. Yeah, it was in Burbank, here in the land of the lost, fucking California. This place is terrible, by the way. I don't miss it at all.
There will not be spoilers, chat, because I haven't seen it. Most people here haven't seen it.
No
I-
spoilers, because it's a
I
good
want
movie.
everybody to see
I
it. Well,
thought
okay,
so
European
good.
people couldn't see it. Okay, you haven't. It's not out for 2 weeks, so I apologize. Did you see it, Chrissy?
Yes, it's so good. It's the best movie I've seen all year. Better than Barbie.
Whoa.
No, it was really, really good. The characters are so grounded. And my hesitation going into this was like, and I wouldn't have seen this movie if it wasn't part of our homework, because to me, it just comes off as like a very guy, like, and I like some nerdy stuff, but for me, like Godzilla nerdy would never have been. I just don't know the lore. I haven't seen the 36 other Godzilla movies. It's just, I thought I would need to have like a history of everything, and you don't. And this is a perfect, like, if you're a girl watching this, say to your guy, hey, like, let's go see the Godzilla movie, because there's a great love story. There's great character development. And the characters are so grounded. You really care about them. You really don't want them to die. And even though Godzilla himself is like a little bit corny, like, I can heal myself, you know, but you expect it because it's Godzilla. And he's got little hands. He's got these crazy little teeth. It's a great combination of, like, obviously war, chomping at ships, like classic Godzilla stuff, but a really wonderful story. And I was crying.
Japanese people running and going, Godzilla! Like, it's in there. It's all what you want.
Chrissy, are you saying you identified with people that didn't look like you?
Well, no,
There's
no way.
problem. That's the problem, Shad, is there is no inclusivity and diversity. And on top of that, there's no diversity and inclusivity.
Hollywood has been
also,
telling me that unless there's people that look like me, I can't identify.
Oh,
with the
dude,
film.
there's no LGBTQ plus representation. There's none.
No, it's not woke
Not
at
at
all.
all.
Are you
Not gay
assuming
at all.
Godzilla?
I would love to get see a bunch of gay people get stomped by Godzilla.
Well, I think what you can interpret is Godzilla is a trans allegory. So all the Japanese people he kills are transphobes, and they deserved it.
His
I
spikes
was
light
wondering
up
a
in
joke
rainbow
from
colors.
Grace Randolph saying that not enough white people were killed in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, she said too many diverse people were killed.
You wanted to be part of the cast. What do you want? Yeah.
Sorrow. No, what makes the movie is the humans.
Yeah.
And I can't say that about many Godzilla movies at all.
That's the main criticism for Godzilla movies, is that they keep putting in humans. Get the humans out. Nobody cares. They just want to see Godzilla.
I don't even want to ruin
this-
the main plot point of the main character. I don't even want to ruin that for people. Like, you need to go into that cold like I did. So you go through his journey. It takes place, what I can say is it takes place in 1945, 46, and 47, right after World War II. It's an alternate history. It sticks pretty much with the original Godzilla movie as far as Godzilla's origin. Godzilla's a bad guy Godzilla's a bad guy, force of nature, bad guy, evil.
Opening scene with Godzilla, and he's not even full strength. Scary as shit.
Plenty of like the classic Godzilla screams that we all love.
What's everyone's take on
Roar
should
is
Godzilla
so
be
good.
good guy, bad guy, or somewhere in
Godzilla
between?
scream.
Yeah.
I thought that was just you on a Saturday. Sorry.
What was that, Mark?
Oh wow.
Dang, Shad.
What's everyone's take on whether or not Godzilla should be good guy, bad guy, or somewhere in between?
I think what they're trying to do with the whole MonsterVerse thing is because they want a franchise, right?
Yeah.
So then you have to have like some sort of like, he can't just be bad. He can't just like fight him over and over and over again, right? So I think that's why they're going for this kind of, hey, he's a good guy and he can work with us. We could find ways to use Godzilla to help us defend us. I think in the long run, it's not good.
It's not good.
Well, I was about to say, like, they made him a good guy in the first one, so like they didn't even experiment with this guy.
So
King of the Monsters, he was a good guy in that one because he fought.
This is a fresh start. This is completely different.
You treat him like Galactus.
Godzilla.
Galactus is not evil. Galactus is a force of nature. Galactus is necessary. He needs to prune planets. But it sucks if it gets around to you.
But you have to clarify when you say the first Godzilla. Do you mean because there are different incarnations, right? Like Legendary is doing their version of Godzilla, which they kicked off in 2014 with the Gareth Edwards movie, which I thought was a huge disappointment. And King of the Monsters was fine, but not great. And this Monarch series is terrible. It's just god awful.
Is it?
I don't know if anyone's seen it. I think I'm the only one in the group that's seen it. I saw the first 5 episodes. It's just completely dismissible. Huge disappointment, even with a good cast with Kurt Russell and his son. But this movie is
right. It's got a bunch of woke crap in it.
There is. It comes in later where you find out like one of the lead girls is like has a girlfriend who also works at the school in San Francisco, and they're in bed together. It's just all like it's CW crap.
It's got to be honest.
Exactly, but it's
this movie. I found myself watching it and just really being like pulled in to the human story and just going, okay, this is a really great story between these characters, and then oh yeah, this is a Godzilla in this movie, and then he shows up, boom,
dude,
it's a massive thing.
I think we can't say is these characters. Sorry, Garrett, but these characters are dealing with post-war trauma.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. This is right after America has dropped the A bomb, so you're looking at it's a post-apocalyptic story. It's a post-apocalyptic country, and if you're wondering how do they explain all the other stuff post-World War II, they do. I'm not going to tell you how they do, but they do. How are the effects? We've heard a report of it's $15 million or $35 million. Either way, this thing is an achievement.
Sorry, I love how you avoid spoilers. Is Darth Vader Luke's father? He is. I'm not going to tell you how is Luke's father. But...
Well,
I don't think they spoiled anything.
The job of
The atom bomb has like little to do with like what the story's about.
That's really the setup of the world. What world are we in? It's post World War II.
They don't make Godzilla seem good or bad. They do a good job of like he represents the paranoia of like we could get bombed or nuked at any time. And
complete destruction of things that they cannot have they don't have any control over. Like these governments are around us causing terrible death and destruction. We have no control over it. It's like Godzilla, right? This movie was perfectly done. The characters are great. Godzilla's great. Like if you go there for just a monster movie, it's got you. If you're going there for a really great story, it's got you. The effects are perfect. Go watch it.
Well, let me ask you this. So you know how like the end of Rogue One leads right into A New Hope? Does like Oppenheimer move right in?
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
He's like, I am become death, destroy the world.
Hey, was it Movie Bob bitching? Or who was it? Was it Movie Bob? Somebody? No, I can't remember who it was. It wasn't Movie Bob. Movie Bob's an idiot. Somebody was bitching. No, it was another director that was bitching that we didn't get to see things in Oppenheimer from the Japanese perspective.
Yeah.
He was literally saying what I just said. He wanted to see Japanese people get destroed on screen.
This is it.
Grace Randolph said that as well, Gary.
You got 100% Japanese perspective on Oppenheimer.
I think it's really telling that even Jay, drunk 3PO, liked this movie. I don't know who read the subtitles to him, but I know even he liked it. Anyways,
Damn, bro. Chris just got you back for calling him Frank, man.
Joke that he can't read.
Anyway, no, he did actually bring it up. He brought up like having to read the subtitles. He said it didn't bother him. But,
shout out to Drunk 3PO, Achromatic Chronicles, Blue and Green, upcoming
Part 2.
I love Jay. He's a sweetheart. But anyways, so this movie is a Japanese melodrama. I have actually seen Japanese melodramas that are just traditional love stories, family drama, all that. This does that so well. Add the element of an actual frightening Godzilla. There are scenes where it feels inspired by Jaws, where you are actually afraid of Godzilla. You see the Godzilla's attack on one of the cities from the point of view of the humans, where the perspective is. You would never see a Godzilla in a perfect, like, here's this, look at this great scene, there's a monster killing a city. No, you would be underfoot. You could barely see it from a certain angle. It covers that. Yeah, there. And you see people get crushed, and nothing is particularly super gory, but it's everything that's implied is horrific. And that human story of this sort of broken family is it really draws you in. And not to say that there haven't been other Godzilla films that have had decent human stories, but I mean, Godzilla was started like this. It's very much in tone like the first movie. I'm talking about the non-Raymond Burr one from 1954 that the distributor in America decided, we're going to put this guy Raymond Burr in the movie and we'll make it appeal to Americans, when they should have just done it subtitled. And what's funny is his character's name is Steve Martin in the movie, if you ever watched the old 1954. Anyways, I thought this movie knocked out of the park. Like you, Gary, I saw it with a packed audience. They applauded at the end. There were a couple of applause breaks too and what was shocking to me was how silent the theater was during the tension moments.
During the quiet scenes where they cut out all the sound. Yeah.
It was kind of hot, because normally there's like room tone, right? You hear something, you heard nothing. It was scary. You were waiting for Godzilla to show up, and the sound was fantastic. So I loved it. I think anyone who sees it, even Jay, Drunk 3PO liked it, which is a huge recommendation from Jay because he saw a foreign film.
He said good one. He said good one, Frank Gore. He's in the chat.
Love you, Jay. Love you, Jay.
You know how he was more like,
I've seen him on stream before where someone's come over and gone, you just got shouted out on FNT. You just go, I bet it wasn't for anything good. Like every time.
I bet it wasn't good. I love you, Jay, bro.
That's true. Oh, we love Jay.
But what I wanted to say is when we use the term human story, usually it's all these freaking humans. They keep bringing in humans. It's like a pejorative. But this is like a human story in the quintessential meaning of the word, a human, like how they deal with trauma and it affects them and how it connects to Godzilla. And then outside of that, I saw a lot of kind of Joseph Campbell Hero with a Thousand Faces elements in here, Star Wars feeling of like denial of the quest and going through the portal, and then somebody coming in later when they were, there's a lot of those really great classic storytelling moments in this film, and I just loved it.
You're right, Garrett. This was the hero's journey, and you get to go through it, and
Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla, obviously.
Regular people being extraordinary.
It's the hero's story. He's not going to tell us how it's the hero's story, but it's the hero's story.
Yeah, it's just like the MonsterVerse stuff.
Well, what am I going to say? It's a movie. I saw people move around on it.
It had Godzilla. Are you trying to make a Chris Stuckman review? What are you doing?
Yes, I am.
It was directed by this person who's Japanese. The Godzilla vs. Kong, it was just the people drove me so crazy in that. The whole like Millie Bobby Brown, the random black podcaster guy.
Was he good or bad?
Their fat Hispanic friend. Like it was just so annoying. And I couldn't wait to get them off the screen. And that just feels how those movies have felt.
Yeah.
Their inception.
What was the budget of this Godzilla?
15 million.
See, that's insane.
It's being reported either 15 or 35. Either way, Chad, it's totally insane.
That is
some of the effects,
it's an absolute triumph.
It's an absolute triumph. No, some of the effects are like perfect, are like pitch perfect, but it doesn't matter. Like the Godzilla effects, they really try to make it like an homage to the guy in the suit without it being the guy in the suit, and still make him a formidable monster. And a bunch of World War II stuff going on in a society that is defeated, absolutely defeated in every way. Facing this thing is fucking awesome. It was
very anti-government.
One of the best movies. Enough. Very anti-government.
Yeah. You know, the fact though that like it seems like they've been able to make such a high quality film at such a low budget is so damn encouraging for me when I think about independent creators and smaller studios being able to make really high quality things. That is awesome to hear.
Dude, somebody brought it up in the chat. The sound, the mixing of the entire movie, so good, dude.
It was sick.
Doesn't it remind you of Jaws a little?
I don't want to spoil it, but the sound design is so good.
The music is good. The acting for the most part is good. I mean, it's a foreign film, so what we'll say is we'll interpret it as overacting, but I think that's pretty much normal acting over in Japan, right? And how can you interpret that when even though you're reading it, you're not understanding the language and the inflection? So
there are some subtle scenes where he's not speaking. You just see his face and his reaction to something. It's not over sometimes. Yeah,
something we have lost here. There's tons of subtlety in it in the beginning, and it's a good dad story.
Hey,
it's true, dude. It's a fucking great dad story. It is actually really, really good.
Got my attention.
Go watch it. Go watch it.
You find that a lot. Like, this is a foreign thing, but if I want something good now, I just start looking at Korean TV shows.
Yeah,
because they still have all the older, like more traditional values in their nation. And so it's put into their stories. And so things like It's a Good Dad Story aren't rare over there. You can kind of get whatever values that you used to get from entertainment.
And that's why they're going to steal more Thunder, Disparu. They're going to continue to steal more market share. Thunder.
Well, you saw Netflix going, we're just going to keep investing in them.
Yeah. My kids, their favorite shows are anime at the moment. They're dying to watch Dr. Stone. And it's because they're making good stuff. And if they're making good stuff, I'll support it.
Yeah.
That's right. It's not complicated. I got to bounce. Record FNT. This was
Record
awesome.
FNT.
I love it, man. The chat, the MVP. I'll be live on CobraCast tonight. Probably a little bit longer show than last time because I had to cut it short. But thank you to everybody. Appreciate it. This is an awesome stream. And shout out to Elon. Gary's tweet was the perfect one. Normalized CEOs telling each other to go fuck themselves. That's what we got to have. We have to have that. And congratulations to Chris on 100,000 subscribers.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Awesome, dude. It's awesome. So I'll see you guys later tonight. Appreciate y'all. Record FNT. Let's go.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
I think we peaked at 19,500. No, 19.6 thousand.
19.7.
19.7.
Holy shit, guys. Thank you, chat. Thank you. Well done.
It must have been that massive box office release, the new movie that we talked about, which Godzilla. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about Bob Iger's speech, and we're talking about Godzilla released. And that's and Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. We get
that was the one. That was it.
I hope you guys in the UK get to see it soon. It's really worth seeing. If you can see it in IMAX, go see it in IMAX. Have to see it in IMAX. I'm gonna go see it again. I can't wait to own it on 4K and see it. It's the greatest modern Godzilla movie by far, not even fucking close, and might be the greatest Godzilla movie ever. So
there's no kissing, but it's okay.
There was at the end, right? No.
Wasn't Godzilla trying to kiss the boat when he was like,
right?
That's true. Godzilla did a lot of kissing.
Oh wow.
There was all those gay sailors having sex. Oh wait, no.
Imagine if there's a review out there from somebody. Imagine if there's a review out there that's like, there wasn't enough romance in this Godzilla movie for me.
They're actually, I mean, well, Mrs. Nerdrotic was with me, but like we used to watch Godzilla films together as teenagers. So it's like we had to kind of ask her, it's like, what year is this? But we went on date night to Godzilla, and she freaking loved it as much as I did. So
back in the 1950s.
Hang on. Back in the 1950s when the first one came out. Yeah, buddy.
70 years ago.
So do you think Grace Randolph is going to complain that too many diverse people died in this film?
Grace Randolph will have a problem with how many diverse Japanese people, because there was Japanese people playing Japanese people, for one, in the Japanese film from the ethno state. But, you know, it's all right.
Like, hey, Godzilla, have you heard of Stop Asian Hate?
Obviously not.
Godzilla's actually just going around on subway stations and like playing the knockout game.
Godzilla tried to apologize on Twitter, like I didn't mean like you guys.
That's not what I meant.
You should read him.
Cancel Godzilla is clearly very racist, always going after the Japanese. But you know, we know the people on the left, they don't seem to care when the never mind.
No, so if you have, I know a bunch of people are saying they're going to watch it today, so I hope you're enjoying the hell out of it. If you are on the fence, go see it. Drop what you're doing, change your plans, go see it this weekend.
Just do it.
And you can take your kids. You know, well, not little kids, but you know.
Yeah,
I'm going to take my kids after this. We're going to go watch it.
Yeah. Hell, you're going to see it again? Attaboy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to hang out with Chris Gore. We're going to go to LA Comic-Con.
So excited.
We're going to get in trouble.
We're going to get in some, well, you're going to get in trouble. I'm going to drive your drunk asses home. That's what's
there might be an impromptu meet up at Jumbo's Clown Room. You never know what could happen tonight.
Oh, shit. We've been there before already. Are you going to bring
who hasn't been there?
X-Ray Girl? My wife?
X-Ray Girl has not been to Jumbo's Clown Room or the Star Wars.
And
Kara's here. Yeah, Lynn's here.
We saw her here. I saw her hubby.
Real quick.
Super chat.
Yeah, before we start this out, I'm like in a Three's Company situation. I'm in a house with like three broads. Thank God.
Come on, knock on Gary's door.
Dude. Well, Mr. Roper's Max. Max Von Priestley came here, and he's Mr. Roper.
There you go.
Company situation. You read them.
Okay, so we got Tomac for $50. Master Gamer Gary, do you remember what the passcode is to the DTD in the Hollow Bastion?
Yeah, but I'm not going to share it here online with everybody. That'd be terrible. Next.
Okay, I believe you.
It's password.
1-2-3-5-2-9. The one Ginger Draven for $49.99 says, I have no friends, so I'm giving y'all 50 to say happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. You don't, we'll make some friends in chat. Chat's a friendly place. I mean, not super friendly.
19,000 of them here. You'll find somebody.
That's right. When they call you like gay, that means they're being friendly. Okay. That's just the way they are.
They love you.
Yeah.
Unless you're actually gay, then they probably didn't know.
Thanks for getting my fave guests on rewatching old Marvel, and I am too is pretty heavy metal. No, literally a heavy metal is killing him, but what they really needed was to stick a chick in it. ... Hail.
Make her gay and lame. And I want it lame. That's the best one. That's absolutely the best one, when he's ordering the is it linguine. That's right.
Ministry of Wrongthink for $49.99. Bob Iger was there. He was literally interviewing himself on the same stage about stopping Twitter ads just before Elon's interview. That's why he called out Iger.
Yep.
Yeah. What I mean is, when I said in the audience, I don't think Bob Iger was sitting there. He was probably still at the event in a back room.
Yeah, in a back room somewhere.
Yeah, he wasn't sitting out there in the crowd.
Do you reckon someone went up to him and say, "Hey, Bob, Elon just
Mr.
told you."
Iger, Elon told you to go fuck yourself.
How do you like that? Like the CEO of an entertainment company is probably as hated as much as like the Halliburton CEO now. I mean, I wouldn't say, like the CEOs of Pfizer and whoever made oxycodone should be the most hated people on earth. But like he's up there now. Like people hate Iger. That's a big problem for an entertainment company, don't you think?
I mean, everyone just hates Disney across the board, and that's a big problem. Well, they deserve it though.
Well, Jeremy Boring was asked the question again. Is Bob Iger to blame? And Jeremy Boring answered it correctly. He said, absolutely. And he is. This is where our space, whatever the fuck it is, has covered it the best. Absolutely better than anybody, without a doubt. There's been many of you posting on Twitter, making videos that have been covering Bob Iger's fucking failures for a long time. And the fact that he's here lording over them again, I'll say it again, because it just feels good. It's justice. It's karma. It's fucking the universe unfolding as it should. And it's just going to get worse for him. This motherfucker's not going to change. How could he change? He's held prisoner by his own employees. You think it's any different for him than it was for Bob Chapek? No, he's just more of a smooth talker. He's a bullshitter. That's all he is. But he's not a very good CEO. And he just buys a lot of shit. And he doesn't know how to cultivate it. Okay, great. You talk George Lucas out of Star Wars. Maybe George Lucas knew something you didn't, Bob. Maybe George Lucas goes, maybe Star Wars kind of had its run. Maybe it's just kind of had its day.
I'm going to sell it to the white slavers.
And then I'm going to get mad and go like, you paid more for Marvel than you did for Star Wars, which you should have, by the way. But they've destroyed 2 major franchises, and now everything they fucking touch goes to shit.
Mm-hmm.
Willow, Disparu's favorite show.
Absolutely.
I'm really sorry you're not doing season 2.
Oh.
Doesn't exist on their platform anymore. It's gone.
Like, can anyone even get that now? Is it available anywhere?
No, it's literally been removed from the internet.
I know where it's
Oh, so sad.
Yeah,
well, that was what Warwick Davis was saying. He says people come up to me and they're like, "How can I watch it?" It's like you can't. You need to tell them that you're really mad and upset. It's like of all the things that never happened.
Video promoted piracy so people can watch Willow.
All right, we got Mikey Gusler for $50.
Mikey.
Hi, everyone. Today is my 24th birthday. Happy birthday, Mikey. Thank you all for the content and more to come. Can't celebrate tomorrow since I have mandatory overtime, but Sunday I will go watch the Jim Carrey's Grinch film in theaters since I was 1 when originally released.
Oh, I got Mikey, by the way. I love you. We love Mikey Gusler. I'm sure he's looking forward to Aquaman. He's especially looking forward to James Gunn's DCEU. I know that. That's his DCEU. That's absolutely no. Mikey, we love you. Quick story on Jim Carrey's The Grinch. Audrey Geisel, who helped put that together. My dad was Ted Geisel's accountant, who was Dr. Seuss. So my dad helped with the finances with that film before he got like really sick. Audrey Geisel hated that fucking movie with a passion. They fucking hated it. She hated it.
It's not. I mean, it's not like very true to the movie source material, but it's like obviously it honors it in like certain ways, but it's a big departure.
How do they feel? I wonder how they'd feel about the new Grinch movie. That movie was
with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah,
where he befriends the Black Who's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they tried to cancel Ted Geisel because of his World War II cartoons. Even though, like a guy who got the most kids to read prior to J.K. Rowling was Ted Geisel, was Dr. Seuss. If you're not familiar, Chad, you've heard of Dr. Seuss over there. And
we had heaps of Dr. Seuss. Never really was familiar with the author. He was always just Dr. Seuss. But we had all the books and everything growing up. Yeah.
He lived in San Diego. They had a library in San Diego State, not San Diego State, University of California, San Diego, named after him. My dad helped finance that. And he was a cool dude. At one time, I lost it. God, it sucks. I lost it. He drew me a cat in a hat with a mohawk. Hand drawn.
My favorite Dr. Seuss, Green Eggs and Ham.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Absolute classic. Seth Jones for $49.99. First, super. Be gentle.
No.
Hi. Hi all, as sucky as the damage to our favorite stories has been, it practically created your channel and introduced me to y'all. Glorious Cope and X-Ray Girl's Feet, which I for all the spin-offs in the world, hail the Fellowship and FNT.
Yeah, that's the foot cam next time.
Yeah.
I'm wearing socks today. It's cold here.
You're Canadian. It's 66.
Yeah, what
the hell's wrong with you? You've been in the States too long.
I want it to be like 74. That'd be perfect.
That's like, you're such a woman.
Kratos L. Gratos on the Streamlabs side for $50. I like it when you call me Big 50. Hail Chris Gore. I created a few more fans of RRR in your honor. Shout out to Dermy Wormy.
Dermy Wormy's awesome. Chris Gore, you want to say 50 because Beardo's not here?
50. But also, I want to say when Gary reaches 1 million subs on his channel, which is going to happen, he will watch RRR. That's going to happen.
I'll watch RRR.
That's what he's going to do.
Been saying that for years.
Doing that anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it anyway. I mean, it's true, but I'm not doing it.
Crazy for 1 million subs. Review High School Musical.
Hey, we're all in this together, Gary.
I love that song.
Okay, is that a reference to it?
We're all
in this together.
Dude, I watched like the first couple of seasons of Glee with my wife, so it couldn't be any worse than that, right?
Yeah, it's not like that's pretty Glee-tarded.
But
I think
Glee-tarded,
yeah. High School Musical, I watched that when I was around high school, I think.
Well, you were in the Navy, so you were gay.
You're like, I'm gonna go enlist.
I'm surprised you admit to that, Ryan.
Then you tap dance out of the room.
Fuck old of you, Ryan.
It's Ryan's okay. I watched the Vampire Diaries, unironically. Watched it with my wife. So
I mean,
I watched that originals and the spin-off.
Oh, gay.
Oh, I watched
Twilight.
I saw the kid one as well. Yeah.
The originals was terrible.
I like the originals was better than Vampire Diaries. The originals was the best of the three.
No.
It was
Original.
They were hotter, in my opinion.
Okay,
but, you know.
well.
the high school one though, that was awful. Like I don't even know what that was. They didn't even know how to write a story. It was just things happening every episode.
Yeah.
So who here has read Twilight then?
No, I haven't seen that.
I've read it. I haven't read it, but I've seen the movies.
I've seen the movies.
I've seen the movies.
The books are actually better. Funnily enough.
Am I the only normal person here? I saw one of them because I was tricked, and that's it.
I worked in a movie theater at the time. That's the only reason. That's why I watched them.
I mean,
and I had a girlfriend.
It's for pretty much all of the movies, with the exception of one point in time. It was I was watching them all because I was like trying to hook up with a girl at the time. Like that's just the reality.
Absolutely commendable and understandable, and you're forgiven.
I'm not even asked to be forgiven. It's all good.
I know you're not, but I'm just saying for bro code, it's all good.
All right, we got Ronan the Crusader on the Streamlabs side for $100. Says, hail FNT. In all my years as a Godzilla fan, never have any of them had such an emotional charge since the original 1954 film Godzilla -1 manages to do that, and even manages to make me shed a tear. Hail FNT and long live the king of the monsters.
Hell yeah. I mean, I gotta watch it again, but I think it's my favorite movie of the year.
Ooh.
Dude, it's fucking
Mine
good.
too.
I think it's my favorite movie of the year. Right on, Chrissy. Watch
Yeah.
that.
Also, a quick aside on that is, think of these other franchises, right, and where they've gone wrong. Godzilla's a franchise that's been around 70 years, right? I mean, are we gonna have this with Star Wars? Will Star Wars last as long as Godzilla has at this pace? Look at the way these franchises have been shepherded by these corporations, right? Even the American versions of Godzilla, I think they've been attempts, but no one does it like the Japanese.
Nope.
But I mean,
No one's as scared of like nuclear radiation as Japanese people for good reason.
Right.
Yeah, they really are.
Exactly. But
They really
that's what
resonate.
I'm saying is look at the way these franchises evolve. We're doing a panel on this, Gary, this weekend, right? The death of the modern franchise.
We are doing we're doing a couple of panels why 99% of all films are garbage, and
the death of the modern franchise, which was your idea. That was you came up with that title. It's interesting. So look at the franchises that have endured. Why have they endured? And then the ones that are dying, why are they dying? That I think we'll get into it in our discussion, but just want to bring that up.
And that's at the LA Comic-Con this weekend. The reason I'm here and hanging out with Frank Gore and
Ing the Merciless.
Ing the Merciless and Little Ing right here.
And Triple X-Ray Girl.
Little Ing.
Little Ing. Lil Ing. And Kara and Max. It'll be fun. Hopefully we'll see you guys at the LA Comic-Con. We'll be there in a couple hours. 3 hours.
Yeah. We have Smooth the DJ for 50 euros. Says RIP RIP as Hail to the Fellowship, the 199 and the 9.9. Hashtag 38 seconds forever.
Ladies, the 9.9 is the ladies around here, and they came out strong in Wisconsin. Lots of ladies in Wisconsin. A mom brought a daughter. I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" So yeah, the meetup in Wisconsin was great. We got to see a few of you at the 35er yesterday for our impromptu hangout, and that was tons of fun. So thanks for coming out. One guy, Kyle, came up from San Diego, Carlsbad. So Kyle.
That's awesome.
But then we had some people in the UK who came from America. We had some people in America who came from the UK. It's
like, did you not know we do them over there?
It's weird.
A couple, months and months ago, I randomly ran into someone at the grocery store who happened to be on vacation here from the UK that watches the show.
No shit.
Wow.
Yeah,
they were
insane.
Wow. They were on vacation doing theme parks and stuff like that, and they come up to me. We talked at the grocery store, so that was pretty wild.
The odds.
I was like, it's like, God, I really need to make sure I'm not picking my nose randomly in public. Who knows?
For that, right? It's right really when you're trying to drive by a fart in the grocery store. You're trying to go to the empty aisle. I doubt you care, but you go in the empty aisle and it's like you run into somebody who watches the show. No, at the Louvre, dude. We ran into somebody at the fucking Louvre in Paris.
That's wild.
Crazy. I'm like, what?
Small world.
That's cool.
Nice. That's
weird. No, that's the rando grocery store thing is cool. Surreal. It's very cool. Yeah. Come up and say hi. Maybe not to Ryan. He's kind of a dick, but I mean,
I'm nice to you if I meet you in person.
Yeah.
That happened to us.
I am a dick
at the at the boardwalk in Universal, and it was when we were there for the big meetup, but he wasn't there for the meetup. He was just there.
He didn't know about it. He just happened to see that.
It's just like, oh, hey, look.
When I went to go see John Wick 4, this is the most recent one, right? When I went to go see that, I go to sit down in my seat. And the guy who's sitting directly behind me in the theater is like, "Hey, are you Ryan, RK Outpost? You're on Friday nights?" I was like, yeah. I go back, we talk in the aisle a little bit before the show starts and shake his hand, talk to him, go back to my seat. The guy comes and sits down 2 seats away from me with a gap, an appropriate gap left, like all normal people should do at a theater where you're pre-purchasing seats. He sits down and he looks at me, he gives me a double take. He leans over. He's like, "Are you Ryan Kennel?" I'm like, "Yeah." What the fuck is going on? It was at the Universal Cinemark for John Wick.
Wow.
And they all said to you, "Hey, I know you from that Too Many Good Black People video."
Yeah, they were like, "I love your Batman review."
You're the racist guy. High five.
I know my fan base, but I got to bounce, guys. I will leave you there. Great fucking show.
Hell yeah.
Again next week.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Talk to you guys later.
Ryan.
Bye, Ryan. All right,
All right. We got Disco Cobra 2013 for $50. I don't care about anything other than GTA 6 reveal. Been way too long. Finally, we have the next game almost ready. Hoping for a 2024 release, but it will most likely get delayed. I will be getting it on PC and PS5. Bonesaw is ready.
Bonesaw is ready. Well, as a gamer who's never played GTA but has lived it, I'm looking good.
There we go. We have Swaco has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50 and not another dime with 40 Nerdrotic memberships gifted for $200.
200.
Wow.
Before it,
It was Swaco.
Swaco
I
gets
think that's how you
applause
say
too.
it.
Thank you,
that's how we say
Swaco.
it.
You guys are crazy. Thank you.
Absolutely insane. Studio 22 podcast for $50 says LA Comic-Con baby.
Yeah.
We got our Studio 22 podcast RV trailer parked on the floor at booth 350.
You do?
Wow. Looking forward to seeing.
You got anything to eat over there? Me and Chris
Oh.
might be hungry.
Or drink. Looking forward to seeing Chris and Gary's panels and partying like the time I woke up in a shopping center on my frat's lawn at the Saint Street at USC.
I did that one time. I was at the UTC Mall, University Town Center in San Diego, and we got really fucking drunk and woke up in a locked up ice rink. Like,
oh my God.
Yeah, we passed the side of the ice rink, and like I guess they locked the place up and just took off, and we fucking came to. It wasn't came to. It wasn't woke up. It was like came out. I passed out.
Where am I?
Well, we were drinking vodka, and then we ran out, and all we had left was NyQuil.
Oh.
So
as you do. The next logical conclusion.
I didn't say I was smart.
And finishes it off with love to the fellowship. Thank
Hail.
you. Can't wait to see you there.
See you at
All
LA
right.
Comic-Con.
L Wing's Secret Garden for $50 says, no need to be gentle because this girl is coming in hot.
Woo!
I don't want to be told that women are superior because they are willing to give up power by two women who are not willing to do something as small as taking their father or husband's name.
Women in quotations, by the way.
Yes.
One of them.
Whoa, bro, for $99.99. He says, missed FNT after Halloween, and it's December, but had to share this. We had an event at our church where the attendance was about 3,000 kids who came to trick or treat. Ironically, not one Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel costume.
Shocking news. Absolutely.
Anyone surprised?
Any Ray Skywalkers either? No.
Oh.
Nope.
Hail FNT. Thank you. Whoa, bro. We got Steve 2848 for $50 says RIP as in the last video
Rest
I
in peace,
saw
buddy.
he gagged, his eyes rolled up, and he was genuinely in pain. I think it was a heart attack. Then again, he was reviewing Doctor Who. Anyway, RIP as I never knew his name was Rip.
Yeah, we're gonna miss him, but please continue to show your love for Az throughout.
Absolutely.
throughout the month.
Flab for 50 British pounds. I wanted to do 100 real money, but you only made it to 19.7K watching.
Sorry, right? No, wait. I got hit. No. There it is.
And not the 20K I predicted. So enjoy the percentile you get while YouTube robs you blind.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Hail the chat and hail the panel.
YouTube shadow banned us at 19.7. I'll just run with that. They kept us from going there.
Guy Incognito for 50 Canadian dollars says, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all the FNT crew. Here's a 50 and 50.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And happy Hanukkah.
Hayden75 for $100 says, Hail FNT and hail the 199. Welcome to anybody who might be checking out this shite show for the first time. Sorry you missed Az, but he's dead now. If you realized how bad movies and entertainment generally are now, you aren't alone. Watch out for Jeremy. He bites. Ugh.
Well, it's all gums though, so don't worry about it. Teeth.
Need one of them gummers.
Gum you to death.
Oh. Sergeant Stoic for $50.
50.
Elon will build X to eat YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and all streaming services. Pay by platform model a la carte. No need for advertising designed for the benefit of the patrons in our business.
I think a la carte is eventually will be the way to go. But Chris, you were talking about Tubi, these Pluto, these free streaming services are going to make a push because their overhead is low. They will have no subscriptions. All they have to do is latch on to somebody else, Amazon, Roku, or whatever, and they just throw up ads. It's fucking smart, There already is. There's like Roku TV. Roku TV here in the States, Disparu and Chad, has a classic Doctor Who channel that just runs classic Doctor Who all fucking day. All day long. It's great. And they have a Star Trek one where they just run Star Trek The Next Generation all fucking day. It's like what that's what BBC America used to be. It used to run Star Trek Next Generation reruns and play Doctor Who. That's it.
And a lot of live television over here. It was what a lot of the live television was over here because they realized, it's very expensive to make television, but you still need to fill the time. So we'll just put on our best shows and there's just reruns all the time. And that was like the majority of the day. And then during prime time, you'd have your new stuff. Yeah. I don't know why streaming services don't do that more.
Like remastering like Star Trek, like DS9 or something like that would be fucking worth it because you can play that shit forever. And people will watch that stuff because it's fucking great.
Exactly. New generations come in and they're going to watch it. We're showing our kids Star Trek and they love it, and that's why we've got such a lifetime's worth of brilliant shows that we don't need the modern crap. And look, if there's the occasional one that's good, One Piece, I'll show my kids. But you can cut out all the crap, curate what they watch, and then they get all the really great stuff. And Tubi seems to be doing great. It's just it is ads and content basically, and I'm surprised by some of the kind of mainstream stuff that actually ends up on Tubi now and then. I'm like, because I just go and check to see what's there. It's like, oh, I was surprised to see that. There's some really good martial arts stuff there, Bruce Lee film or something like that. Yeah. Okay, sweet. And it's so funny that you can combine the kind of payment model that was original, in the original mainstream model, free to air, with the convenience of streaming, and it works pretty well. Disney's kind of just shot themselves in the foot and trying to now do pay tiers and things. But most of the, I don't need any of the crap on Disney Plus at the moment. I've got, we got the good stuff on DVD, and you're bringing out garbage that's new, and so I don't need it.
Yeah, what's on Disney? That's not on physical media. You could Daredevil would be one, right? But you can get Daredevil on Blu-ray. You can get season 1, 2 on Blu-ray, regular here in the States. If you want season 3, you get a little creative. You can get it on eBay. You don't need to subscribe to Disney Plus.
Yeah, it doesn't even have Willow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Poor Disparu.
But it's got She-Hulk, and unfortunately that got canceled.
Private Adler for $100 on the Streamlabs side says, December 1st, dear Pa, I'm gonna write you this letter to let you know I've made it safe to my new outfit, the Friday night regiment or some such. The general is a grizzled vet. The boys call him Old Boomer. All here are sound of mind and ready to fight for our rights. There is this one feller named Ryan who seems to hate women. Oh, well, I ain't no split tail anyways. Well, we're getting ready to meet the enemy online any minute, so I'm done with this letter. Lord willing, we will win this war against West Coast aggression. Your son in service to fandom, Private Homer T. Adler.
Beautiful Civil War note there.
Beautiful. We got
Historic.
Fred. Absolutely. Fred Fisto for $50 says, hail the fellowship and hail the Iron Age. Hail George R.R. Martin for being so lazy and giving the rest of us a chance. My book, The Eccentric Detective Yamamoto, is available in print and ebook today and in audiobook soon. So that's
cool.
Called The Eccentric Detective Yamamoto.
I like that title. Well done. Well done.
And what is this here by Kara?
Alpha Core number 1 starts shipping this week.
Yes. So excited.
Hail the Rippaverse.
Turnaround, man.
That is amazing turnaround. I can't wait to my favorite part. I can't wait to tell you my favorite part of Alpha Core number 1.
Okay. Now this is the last one of the night. We got Guy Incognito has gifted 50 Nerdrotic memberships for $250.
Jesus.
That's a lot of
crazy.
memberships.
That is a lot of memberships in the chat. The fellowship thanks you. Okay, what am I going to do, Square? Let's try to do one before I leave. But if not, I'll do them when I get back. But it'd be like Tuesday night by the latest. That's when we'll do a Square Up. I got a lot to do. And thanks to you guys. But we are on a time limit because we have to get to the con. We have to get to the con on time. You know, our church. And we'll see some of you guys and gals out over there. So I'm looking forward to that. And again, we have a panel coming up. We have a panel tomorrow, which is that the, which one's first, Chris?
The death of the modern franchise at 1:30 p.m. in room 308AB at the LA Convention Center. Be there.
And then you have a panel.
Yes. Indie Filmmaker Survival Guide at 3:30 p.m. Then on Sunday at 2:30 p.m. why 99% of movies today are garbage. We should shout out some of the people that are going to be on the panel.
Let's do it.
Gary, Verbal Riot Show. That's Dante James. Ing the Merciless, Alan Ing, Polly from Latino Slant. X-Ray Girl is going to do a panel. So along with Anna, that Star Wars girl, Danica, Comic Book Girl 19,
yeah,
on a panel. And our buddy Ramesh Iyer, he's going to be on a panel. He was on our panel at San Diego.
Ramesh is awesome.
Ramesh is great. It's just
little based.
Exactly. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, just check my social feed.
Chris, will any of these be streamed? Lots of questions in the chat about that.
We cannot stream it, but we will record it and more than likely post it on the Film Threat YouTube channel next week. All three panels will be recorded.
Importantly, it's going to be recorded through the soundboard, so you're going to get good audio.
Yes,
on this one.
We do have a team. We do have a team that's going to be there to do it.
Video it and record it. Met the team. They a couple of cool dudes spending their time.
We'll give them a shout out in the videos and appreciate it. I think everyone keeps asking me, when am I going to be there? We're going to be there. Just look for
We're going to be there in 2-ish hours.
Couple hours. Yeah.
Wow.
Driving time LA. So it's like 10 minutes away, which means it's going to take us 2 hours to get there.
Well, yeah. It might take 10 minutes, but more than likely, probably
Chris, I don't know how you fucking live in this nightmare.
Well, I walk around Pasadena. I don't really live. I don't live in LA.
Drive. Here are the things I don't miss. Like, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm like, how am I gonna park?
Right.
Like these are the things I used to. It's like, okay, I got to give myself at least 15, 20 minutes to park.
Right.
That's city living. And then I've got, okay, do I want to risk a ticket? Do I want to park in the 2-hour place? I have to, whatever I'm going to do. Is it under 2 hours? Like thankfully here in LA, we did go to the AMC Burbank and Melissa's like, you don't pay them? I'll no. I almost feel like I want to run up to somebody and give them money walking out of the parking lot just because I don't feel right. But you didn't pay there. But enjoy that while it lasts. Otherwise, it's a nightmare. There's a bunch of tent cities around here, a bunch of homeless people.
Dirty.
We had a crazy meth head running down the street of where we're staying.
Oh my God.
Coming back, almost ran him over. Didn't mean to. Came out of nowhere. Okay. So
internet racist runs over homeless man.
Innocent homeless hero.
But some of the people are really cool. I just can't wait to get the fuck out of here when we're done. I got PT. What is it? Post California. It would be PC. Nope.
Post-traumatic California disorder.
Yeah, that's it.
All PP stress.
PP stress.
No, PP stress.
I want to be next to you when you say that.
You are. It's all right. The audience can't tell. Only you.
Well, we film everything. Waist up.
Garrett, what do you got coming up, man?
Nothing much. Just Forbidden Frontier on Sunday on the Nerdrotic live channel. I love that show. Such a good show with Adam Krigler and the gang. And on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we do a little show called Normal World with Dave Landau. We have fun, do sketches, have chit chats. And
Did I see Metzger on your thumbnail?
Yes.
I need to catch up. Oh,
yes, we
Metzger.
did. We had Metzger last night.
Oh, dude.
Metzger's
awesome. We need to get him back on FNT.
We do.
I can't wait to watch that.
Also, go watch Godzilla. Seriously, it's one of the best movies, if not the best movie of the year, and maybe the last several years. It is that good. Go watch it, and R.I.P. Az.
R.I.P. buddy. I miss you a little bit.
Garrett, real quick, by the way, someone from the Blaze reached out to me.
Oh, yeah.
They want me to be on Glenn Beck's radio show next week.
Ooh.
Talk about the Disney stuff.
Nice.
So
that's great.
We can get you back out to be on our show.
Yeah, I told him, I said, yeah, I was on Normal World. They wanted me to actually come out, but I can't. It's too much going on. So I got to do a comic convention.
Yeah,
So,
you only come out for my show.
Right,
See,
that's what I'm
Beck
saying.
Show.
Anyways, just let people know that that's happening.
Yeah, Chris Gore is going to be on the Glenn Beck radio program next week. Look out for that. Look out for that.
Wow.
Hell yeah. What do you got coming up, Shad Embrooks?
Well, if you go over to Shadowversity, right? So, Lord of the Rings. Okay, you remember when Legolas pulls out the arrow, stabs the Uruk-hai in the face, and then shoots the arrow?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Right. So we did a whole video on that, testing it out if you can do it in real life.
Are you?
Who did you stab in the face?
Are you an elf?
Yeah, let me guess.
Well,
you stab you
I
in
am.
the face.
I am shooting a 110-pound bow, so now proper war bow, to see if we can replicate and do it. Check it out, see if we succeed. It's on Shadowversity. We're having heaps of fun with our functional fandom series on Shadowversity.
I fucking love when you do that stuff like that. That's like my favorite stuff.
It's a really good show.
Well, that like we are loving it too, and we're just making more and more of that content where we like literally we take something from pop culture and try and replicate in real life. And we got more stuff coming out. Like we're testing something from Pirates of the Caribbean. We tested, if the Hobbit kind of, where he shoots the black arrow at Smaug. And so the recent one is.
Can I request a video?
Yeah.
I want you to have a 110-pound girl beat the shit out of 4 350-pound.
Can it be done?
Oh man! Oh, I'm tempted. We'll go to martial arts.
I want a full recreation of Gandalf versus the Balrog to figure out if he could have beaten it or not.
Yeah.
Hey, that could be good. Could a wizard really block a narrow bridge? And I reckon if you could knock him off, maybe.
Yeah, and can you block a giant flaming demon sword with a spell?
Yes.
I don't know.
With a
We have
flaming
a
whip.
wizard right here.
We have tested fire swords, like literal fire swords, on the channel. Like a.
You have. Yes, you have. That was fun. That's good.
Heaps of fun. So yeah, Shadowversity is going out. We're having heaps of fun there. Of course, Night's Watch doing the reviews, and we're having fun talking about lots of random stuff. We got. Do you know there was like an article Screen Rant put out where they went through like 3 or 7 things that
8 things that were wrong with Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. Yes.
Like what? We did a whole video just going through that, and that's coming out soon on Night's Watch.
They're screen retard now. That's all they are.
Yeah, that was such a dumb article.
Screen retard.
And I also have my AI art channel if people are interested, because I like AI art. So there we go.
There you go. It ain't going anywhere, Shad. So
it's not
whether people like it or not. It ain't going anywhere. You know what's funny is they legislated it basically out of Hollywood, which means all the independent people can use the fuck out of it.
Let's do it. I like it. All right, I'm happy to. And I'm gonna integrate it in ways that will actually complement and help artists out. And so I'm gonna be making graphic novels, working with artists. But what I can do is make one the traditional way, artists draw it, color it, and everything, and then I can make an AI variant as well as an optional purchase. And so people can choose what they want, or they get both, and they get 2 options of like extra, product for my fans. And it's just,
I'm sure that's going to make so many people happy, Shad. I just, good luck to you. I wish all luck in the world. Chrissy Mayer, besides having that bun in the oven, what do you got coming up?
Yeah, this was taken right after I was talking about seeing the Marvels again. And he was like,
And he said,
no,
Please.
no!
Mom, stop.
Oh, don't let me listen to that. So tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing a movie watch along of the Star Wars holiday special. So if you want to watch that with me, that's at 10 o'clock. Simcast. We're not really doing a Simcast. I'm headlining in Tampa on Sunday at 7 p.m. So if you're in the Tampa area, come see me at Side Splitters on Sunday with Keanu Thompson. And yeah, Wet Spot Monday, Compound Media. You subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get to 100K.
Promise me you'll never do this, Chrissy. Promise me you'll never do this, because if I see this fucking ad on Twitter one more time, I'm gonna throw my fucking laptop. Don't ever do a stand-up special for OnlyFans. Like Whitney Cummings. I see your fucking stand-up special.
Got some kind of deal with them. Yeah.
Like,
she's trying to make it like a Patreon or something.
For one, Chris, you probably know her, right? She's in your movie.
I've met her once.
Briefly. I don't know her.
She got replaced by Olivia Munn on G4.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's like a really average comedian. But man, I'm seeing that ad like every 2 seconds.
They're
like,
really pushing
Yeah.
her. The mainstream loves her. She's
Yeah,
on
I think
all
she's
these
kinda
morning
mid.
shows all the time. Yeah.
I saw her at Joe Rogan's during that when Dave Chappelle showed up. Like she was at the mothership. She was there. She did all right, but she's like safe. And then Kill Tony comes out and just fucking says the darkest shit I've heard since Bill's Picks. Okay, and it was so fucking good. They were better than Dave Chappelle, who was wasted, but good. Still fucking good. Still the greatest. Still the GOAT, but wasted. Completely wasted. But yeah, don't do OnlyFans ad that I see every 2 seconds with really mid material, please.
No. There's YouTube. There's plenty of Rumble. There's so many places to have a special.
You're special.
Oh. My plan is to give birth in an Uber. That way I only have to pay $100 cleaning fee instead of all these hospital fees.
Oh, that's what you want to do. Believe me, because we paid out of pocket for Logan.
It's expensive.
How
Unfucking believable how much it costs.
just to lay on a bed and push?
Just the I said the hotel room. Just the hospital room for one night would have been a fabulous hotel room. This is in 2005. $11,000.
What?
Jesus. That is farcical.
One night.
Wow.
$11,000.
You should have just left the country and then snuck in and
I should have just done whatever it was.
Just pass the debt onto the kid. He's the one that caused it.
That's a great idea.
Halle Berry is $1,000.
You lived long enough.
Oh my god.
Oh God. Yeah, the Uber. Have the baby in an Uber. For sure. I got to Chris, you already said your stuff. What do you got coming up?
Oh, I'm going to be at LA Comic-Con, probably live streaming, but I do have a video out. I watched a YouTube show called For the Love of Lena, where this couple tries to find a man to be part of their threesome. It's kind of in the way that Disparu and as did MILF Manor. So if you're interested, check out the video. And I also think Disparu should review that show.
Is there going to be a season 2 of MILF Manor?
I don't know.
I mean, I hope so, but I don't know whether they can find people sick enough.
Oh, I don't think there's any problem with that.
Their first episode literally had mothers groping their own sons. It was like, what is this?
Just fucking, that's Hollywood. Just troll around Hollywood a little bit. Chris knows.
That was one of the mothers literally go, well, obviously I know my son's body. And she wasn't kidding. She literally went, yeah, that's my son. I was like, how do you know this?
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I'm so sorry I brought it up.
Sorry to say this after this. There's one more super chat here.
Let's do it.
Rolando A. Ramirez for $50. Have any of y'all seen Shin Godzilla? It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I've seen it. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
I've seen it. Bye. Gone.
Yeah.
Little
You
diphtheria.
did see it. All right.
That was like an as exit.
Love it.
You know, hey, Disparu, what you got going on?
Oh yeah, we can at least round it out. Yeah, so I had Doctor Who breakdown last time. There's a Disney video coming up, but there is Geeks and Gamers Tabletop. If you like D&D, any kind of tabletop stuff, you can go follow that channel. And it's become a bit of a tradition where every time we hit a milestone, like the next ones will be 15,000 and 20,000 subs, we basically get to ritually humiliate a rude eye, and he just keeps agreeing to this stuff. Like now he's in he's agreed to do a maid outfit stream for some reason, which apparently he's already done. Like, I don't know whether that was voluntary or not. And then we're trying to get him to do a virgin killer outfit stream. Just to see whatever we can get away with to convince him to do. I think for 10,000 the celebration was him eating corn the long way. So it's it's a great reason to sub, if nothing to make his life a living hell.
I think they're back.
Are they?
Yep.
In theory.
They're back.
There we go.
There they are.
Entire super chat, or did we get gone before then?
No,
Oh, we heard the
got
super
up
chat.
to, Gary had seen the other Godzilla film. And
Okay,
then
cool.
and we just did Disparu's outro because we're efficient here.
Yeah, we wrapped
Yeah,
them up.
well, you guys are up.
There's still 14,000 people watching. That
Record show.
They
Thank
wanna
you,
see if you
everybody,
come
for
back.
showing
Wow.
up. We're very professional and well put together.
We're up to MauLer in case you needed help. And
what the hell's wrong with you? It's Friday night. What the hell are you doing? And then thank you. Thank you.
You bucked the trend. Everybody says nobody watches YouTube on Fridays. That's you, baby. I see you.
That's why I chose the day, because I'm like, nobody's gonna watch me ever. So like, I don't go out anymore. I'm boring, sober, and so that's it. Yep. Okay, so Disparu said bye. How about MauLer? MauLer,
hello.
What you got coming up, pal?
You know what I got coming up.
I know
That's the main
you
thing.
have, but we can't say
We
it.
are on the verge of completing it as a project, so I'll announce what that is the second we get that done.
Herding cats.
Yes, and
That's what you've been
chat
doing.
is gonna love it as soon as I announce exactly what we're doing, because
Marvels.
It'll package really well with something else Gary will be
Ooh.
doing around the same time.
Yep.
Ooh.
is it similar to a war movie arc?
Well, I was actually going to say the closer to actual announcement is the me, Shad, Drinker, Sargon, Smiler, Fringy. Not Fringy, actually. That's the notable exception, because this thing has been made since like 4 years ago. But that's
Yeah.
we're releasing.
It's
the
been
first
4
one.
years in the making. I've been waiting for this to come out for so long. Sorry.
It's been literally, and the first one will come out January 1st if everything goes well. So that's going to be there's 14
exciting.
movies in that arc, and it'll run across 2024. So,
That's right. And as an I and you and who else was there? It was the EFAP crew, right? Did something that you'll see in 2025.
Oh, if you're talking about the arc after that, you talk. Shad was there for those ones, was he, or was he? I can't remember. I know Az was.
I don't think I was on FNT when you guys probably started it. Not knowing the time frames that you
Shad,
were.
yeah, it was just as I meant to say as you mean was Drinker there?
Well, it doesn't matter because that'll be 2025. So
you'll find out in 2025 what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just people just like just say what it is. It's like no, you don't understand how many projects fucking fall apart and never get created. We're on the verge of it. Next FNT, we will actually be able to say what it is probably.
Awesome.
Ooh.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
So exciting.
Excellent. Thanks, MauLer. Am I forgetting anybody?
Oh, also, I just had tickets go on sale for Dallas. I'll be in Dallas January 25th. That's a Thursday at Hyenas in Dallas.
Well, I might be able to go to that.
I'll be
show.
there.
Ooh.
Thursday, yeah, the 25th. Yep.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
one
sure
of
you
these
forgot
things is-
Garrett as usual.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Garrett.
No, I was number one. I was the first one.
Oh, were you? Oh, you number one this
You
time.
forgot, Garrett.
I forgot it.
Yeah, no, Chrissy, were you going to come to San Antonio one of these days? You're just gonna keep on the
Yes,
fucking
maybe I
list?
can squeak it in at the end of January.
Okay. Otherwise, I'll go up to Dallas. I'll go to Dallas again.
Make it sound like a chore.
Oh,
It kind of is. It's like a 5-hour drive.
Damn.
4.5.
4.5. 3.5 if you drive fast enough in the middle of the night, because we have 8. Okay, real quick. California has regressed again. Speed limits are dipping down to 60. What the fuck? What the flying
Communist,
fuck is that?
man.
That's
flying,
too slow.
They don't want you to have anything, including speed.
We have 80 in Texas. 80. It's so wonderful. And you can go like 90 and the cops won't pull you over.
Right, baby. Oh yeah, the buffer is 10. It's 10.
Buffer's 10. But yeah, I was coming through 10, approaching Palm Springs, and it's all 60 the whole way. Fucking 60. Somebody get Sammy Hagar on the phone.
Disgusting.
Right now.
This is in miles, I take it.
It's miles per hour. Yes,
Yeah, freedom
miles.
units.
That's the only thing that counts. You freaking foreigner.
I'm pretty sure in Wales over here they want to introduce 20.
Is that
It was a
20 kilometers? or
20 miles, because kilometers you'd be crawling even more.
Dude, that's a school zone.
They were putting up signs for it.
That's brutal.
There was uproar.
That is brutal. That's torture.
That is torture.
Dang.
Well, that's what a bike goes. That's what they want you to have. A bicycle to go back to your concrete square in your gray uniform to eat some bugs.
Wait till they start to tax your tea. Then you'll get mad.
They've taken it too far. Chris, I'll see you in a little while.
Yeah.
For Jeremy, thanks for popping in. I know he's had a tough time, but so I really appreciate it. For Ryan, he's a dick, but we love him. And rest in peace, Az. You will be missed, brother. But
Thanks for the record show, chat.
thanks for the record show, chat.
In his memory.
Yeah.
In his memory. and yeah, thanks for Disney for completely fucking up again. And thanks to Elon for putting that guy in his place, for saying that what everybody wants to say, that what honestly we've been saying for years. So we appreciate you all. Thank you to the Nerdrotics. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat and donation. You help keep this show going. And you know what? Thanks to MetaPC. Thanks to Geek Grind Coffee for backing us without question. Without question. No strings attached. That's why I allow it. Otherwise, fuck sponsors. But and thanks to the lurkers. Thanks to everyone out there. We really do appreciate you and talking to you guys. I hope I get to talk to some of you this weekend. And we'll see you next week with Disparu and MauLer.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Hi. God damn, Gary. Some serious gourmet. What flavor is this? That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend. Check out the Geek Grind Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee. Or if you're looking for something darker, try the Dark Roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all three. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Dame, dame.